bomb diffuser. 5 seconds remaining. Go.
Les assaillants ont activé le désamorceur.
Attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. 10 seconds remaining. Attackers have located the diffuser.
Device terminated.
Attackers activating diffuser. Have located a bomb. Attackers dropped the diffuser. Seconds remaining. Operators.
I'm trying. Enemy located.
Defender is approaching the kill zone. Five seconds to go. Attackers activating diffuser. Defenders have located the diffuser.
Enemy interference.
Attackers activating diffuser. Defenders.
Deploy.
10 seconds left. A bomb has been located. Attackers are activating diffuser.
Reloading!
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Changing mags!
Operator.
Reloading mag!
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Operators, you have run out of... A bomb has been located. dropped the diffuser. Attackers. Fifteen seconds remaining.
I need to reload.
Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped.
All set to gendarmerie.
10 seconds remaining. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers activated. Defenders have located. Attackers have located a bomb.
Les défenseurs ont neutralisé le désamorceur.
My God. Nitro set. Nitro.
Attempt failed. Defenders win.
I'm dry.
And hello people, how are you all doing tonight? I for one am doing pretty good, even though we have this wallpaper right here, this background wallpaper, which doesn't seem to be working too great. Let me just relink that real quick. Yeah, I've changed up a few things in my folders architectures, and that kind of messed a few things up, but there we have it. And yeah, today are going to be the beginning of the playoffs. I hope you guys are absolutely excited for those, because I know I am. Let me just start banning. No. Okay, yeah, and the players are ready. As you can see, MishMash Gaming, they have already entered their name. The other team is, of course, going to be Onlyfans. They have yet to enter their name in the overlay UI, but it should come really soon. And there we have it. Coastline is going to be our first ban of the day. This being a playoff match means that we're going to be having a best of 3 format. Therefore, no single slip-up should be fatal. Either way, really. And number 2 is going to be that we're no longer playing in round robin, but rather it's now elimination format, double elim to be more specific. Therefore, losing the game, or losing the best of 3 in that instance, is, does contain a few implications, because if you were to lose, if you should lose, well, then you are going to be kicked into the loser's bracket, and should you lose there, then you're pretty much out. And that is really not something you want to have happen to you, considering the prize pool that is at play here. So, MishMash have done their first ban. Onlyfans GG, they have entered their name, and thus they have shown that they're present. Let's see how they are going to be banning. In the meantime, I could also maybe start to prepare the in-game settings, i.e., preparing a custom lobby and all that good stuff that comes with it while the game is not actually being displayed. So OnlyFans will be taking consulate out of the play. That's quite interesting because, I can usually say, oh, this one specific singular map tends to be quite liked in the community compared to every other map that there is in the map pool. But here we're playing 3 maps, so it does change things up. Nah, a little bit. Only so slightly, to be honest, but it's still something. We're gonna be playing borderless with a 16:9 aspect ratio. You guys know it, I know it. 4/3 is what most of us play with. I, however, have to switch it back up every time there's a a game that's about to start. Okay. So now it's gonna be up to MishMash, and they pick theme park. Yeah, it is a band pick band theme, or I want to say setting. Therefore, the second pick, or the second thing they selected, yeah. Okay, I'll message Onlyfans. Yeah. Misclicked. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna have to kind of restart the map bands. Not gonna restart, but like kind of rehost-ish the map bands. So let me just like prepare them manually. MishMash Gaming on the one hand. On the other hand, there is going to be Onlyfans. Onlyfans GG. So the first team, MishMash, they had banned Consulate first. Okay, is it done loading? Please, can I ban? Can I redo this? Consulate had been banned. Okay, so if we go back here and we go into Onlyfans, they had banned Coastline. Okay, I was wrong way, but it still does end up being the same thing. And at this point, we're gonna just update. If I do this, it's gonna update soon. And now MishMash Gaming, it's gonna be up to you. Okay, so yeah. So Kenny, at this point, you can now, don't forget your picking. Okay, and Sarah's is also gonna get his map ban. There we go. And restarting, basically. So they wanted to play Clubhouse. And of course, without any surprises, actually I am really freaking thick. What was the map that Onlyfans had picked? Was it Villa? I think it was Villa. Yeah, so they're like picking the same map once again. And Sarah's did pass a comment in the DMs like, oh, they know what we're going to pick now, so this could influence their thinking, maybe. I really don't think it does, because like they just misclicked and OnlyFans still does the same thing, and, you know, had it all worked out properly the first time, they would still have figured out that Villa was their actual pick, you know? So, hey, minimal disagreement here, but I do still see where OnlyFans they do come from. It's unfortunate. So now we are going to be up to deciding what, well, decider map is going to be. Is it going to be Oregon or Cafe? If I was to say, I think OnlyFans will pick Cafe. And of course, I can only guess, and I might very well be wrong, right? I really realistically have like 50% chances of being right, and of course 50% chances of actually being wrong. The reason why I'm saying this, though, is that we've played Cafe once or twice, and Onlyfans usually were the victors of these games. Plus, Oregon is not too well liked. Though, in comp, it really doesn't matter which team you like, which team you don't, because which map you like, which map you don't, because ultimately what matters is in which map are you good, in which map are you maybe not so good, to see exactly where do you have the greatest odds of winning your games, your rounds, all that good stuff, you know. So with that being said, it's up to Ceres to pick. To pick his map. Let's see which is gonna pick. Okay, he says I know. Okay, so they're really. I was kind of unsure. Are they like unaware that it's their turn, or are they really just in deep conversation? And him responding, "I know it's our turn," basically means they're thinking, and they're thinking hard. What kind of convo is going on there? What kind of, I don't know, undercurrents or deciders, like map banning also has like strats and brain plays and all that good stuff. It's a bit more nuanced, a bit subtle, because you only like to get pick maps, right? But it's still there. And there you have it. They are picking Cafe as a decider. Therefore, we're going to be playing Clubhouse first. Then we're going to be playing Villa. And finally, Cafe. With on defense, every single one you have Onlyfans. Onlyfans defending. Onlyfans attacking on the second one. And on the third one, they're defending as well. Okay. Okay, this is looking good. So, without further ado, are you guys ready to get this underway? Because I know I am. Multiplayer play. Whoa. What is this? What is this? I want to get into a custom game that I want to create online with the PL settings on Central US as a spectator. Thank you very much. In the friends, we're going to have Ceres right here and Kenny right there. So since Onlyfans are defending 2 times out of 3, I guess we'll put them on the right hand side. So allow me to just come in here and here and swap those around like such. Thank you very much. Ceres is here. That is good. That is good. Ceres, I said it was no big deal. I was just saying, but I don't really care. Yeah. No, I mean, you're still right. I do see your point, and ultimately, you are 100% right. Some other orgs would not have allowed it. That's for sure. I mean, ESL wouldn't have allowed it since Faceit doesn't really have any Go for format, and since I'm no CL player, I haven't really had the chance to experience how Faceit runs things, which is why I'm referring to the old organizer. But you're right. You're absolutely right. But I just wanted to be nice here with the players, since I didn't feel like it was a big hit to the match's credibility and integrity, basically. So blue team is going to be MishMash. And I gotta say, it feels like a long time since I last casted DAL. I've had a few like personal things that came in the way. I mean, from time to time, you're going to have like a family gathering or another obligation you have to attend to, right? And unfortunately, DL doesn't have a really big staff right now, so if I'm not there to cast, the game is basically not going to get casted. We still do have a few admins here and there, but that's basically the extent of it, right? Oh. That was in caps when I responded to Ceres. So yeah, that's basically the extent of it, and... yeah, therefore it felt like a really long time, because it actually had been a long time since I last casted DL, and it was high time for me to get back into the swing of things. That is for damn sure. So without further ado, we have 9 players in. Sarah's saying, lol, I also misclicked. Wait, what? But it's alright. Oh, really? You had also misclicked when you were banning maps? Like, did you not want to ban... Consulate first? Meh. Like, I mean, if you misclick, I just realized watching this. No, sorry. When doing like the map and rehost, I swapped them on accident. But you really did ban Consulate first, and MishMash had banned Coastline, but I just switched them out of sheer stupidity. But ultimately, like, it didn't really matter. So I see all 10 of you are in here. Are you guys ready? Are your mosses running? Especially since this is going to be a playoff game. Mosses can be extra important tonight. And if you're ready, just let me know, and we're good to go on my end. Let's just wait till we hear something from them. MishMash are ready. Awesome. Onlyfans. What about you guys? I'm pumped. I'm pumped. This is a playoff game. This is what we've been looking forward to the whole goddamn season. 2 freaking months worth of games to get here. Maybe they were sorry ready. All right. So Clubhouse, that's the right map. Awesome. You guys know the drill. Good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. It is just a best of 3, or it's just the first map of the best of 3 though, so everything can still happen, right? Also, let's tag this as being a BO3, and I believe I want to say that the transition isn't working properly because of course we didn't see it, and Amani is already losing the connection. Shouldn't matter too much since this is just, you know, operator bands and he can join back in. So it shouldn't be too big of an issue. Basecamp transition, Rainbow 6. Let me just... Okay, here we have it. Let's try something real quick. Okay, the transition is what is working in you. That is great. So, our first ban here was Maverick. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but you guys absolutely do know through and through how this map plays, right? Hard breaching, quite important. Maverick, Thatcher, this is why they're going to get taken out of the picture. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Kate also being taken off the board. For a few reasons, right? Both top floors will have an exterior wall and a balcony to be breached. The CCTV room also is going to be quite important as far as garage is concerned. And there we have it, Kate, without any surprises. The basement area, well, you do have the hatches. Failing that, if you want to walk down the main stairs, then you can maybe breach the church area. And if not, there's also always the dirt tunnel. And Amani is back in, therefore no rehost is going to be needed. And finally, Echo also being banned. Not too surprising, if I may. Not too surprising in the slightest. But like, to be honest, taking a lot of hard breaching in the taking out a lot of hard breaching is, I don't want to say pointless and self-defeating, but I mean there's still going to be Thermite and Hibana, of course, right? Hibana making an appearance. And hard breaching almost always works. You're going to have, for example, if it was to be a CCTV defense, you would have Ash, Zofia, Twitch, and just a lot of operators that could like destroy the batteries from below, right? As far as CCTV is concerned. As far as gym and bedroom are concerned, well, then you have the gym window. And as far as the basement is concerned, this is why Kate is taken out of the picture, because I mean, if the electro claws were to be on the ceiling, for example, by Moto, that would make things really difficult for the attackers.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
And
by attackers.
I want to see here you have it, but I mean that's the way I see things, to be honest, right? So the first defense here is going to go to the basement, and that is quite interesting for a reason or two. First of all, well, as you may know, this map right here has 2 really strong primary bomb sites. If you haven't studied, if you haven't scouted out your opponents, you may not know if they're going to go on the top floor by the CCTV area first, or, and why is that so low? Oh yeah, the volume was like down to 50%. That makes so much more sense. And yeah, so what I was going to say is, if you don't know your opponents, you may not know in advance if the defense is going to go on the basement floor or by CCTV, right?
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb
And that is why you have to have a fairly, I'm going to say, adaptable and universal setup for the very first round. Which is where I was kind of surprised to not see like a Zofia or a Buck, but Ash could still have reached the wall, or the ceiling, sorry, to open up the CCTV wall. But that is not going to matter too much since we're talking about a basement push. So Tony already got into dirt tunnel, of course. Of course, the shield here in close quarters can be really dangerous, but basically, and somewhat to their surprise, Onlyfans are going to respawn in kind. Tony already has lost, I want to say, a quarter of his health. Nothing too major, but I mean, if you keep the gig up for too long, he has like to defend himself, right? If not, things are going to go south pretty quickly. So Max has got to kill an X-ray. You also do have Gibby that has been taken out of the picture. That's not a 3v5 situation. Granted, Sarahs and Max are fairly low on health, but you still do have 5 guns on the defensive side, unlike for the attackers, right? That flashbang, is likely to flash Tony. No, it's not gonna. Dio is totally blind though, so he's gonna be playing for time. That seems to work fairly fine. And, you know, playing for time is nice and all, but eventually a push will happen. That flash also will have him totally incapable of defending himself. Fortunately, there was, I want to say it was Max, not Max. Oh, Max. Oh, he just barely missed here. Try it again. Maybe it will work this time. Dirty seems to know. Dirty's like really cautious, and now he's in. Might want to come up central stairway, and there you have it. He is absolutely ready to receive Max. That's going to be a nice kill. And Tony has been basically left to his own devices, but he's going to be providing a good distraction, and they're really not expecting the other attackers to come in from this side. It could be like a rush here. Amani, is not going to be blind, and he was in a blind spot. Actually, gets first kill. Will get refragged immediately. Unfortunately, still 2v2 situation with a shield and a gun player basically. And right here, Tony is providing a really good distraction. This diffuser was being planted, but for some reason it was not. Dirty has canceled this out. And right here, you have Saris taking Tony out of the picture. 1v2 situation, and I want to say Hibana is kind of ill-equipped to go against a shield operator as it is. So things are not going to be easy at all. Saris is really low on health, so he, could be fairly easily taken out of the picture. There you have it. Triple kill, by the way. But now things are not going to be easy at all. Diffuser is being planted, and Dio seems to be playing it passively. That should actually allow the diffuser to really get planted. But he gets the kill immediately. And there you have it. Dio for Onlyfans winning round number 1. That's the kind of rounds you want to see, right? Fairly close. You had a 5v3 situation, which was brought back to a 3v3 pretty quickly. And from that point on, both teams were pretty much toe-to-toe. You could not tell who was going to win, and that's the kind of thing I like to see. Dio, though, was fairly wise, right? He knew what was coming and was ready. As soon as the diffuser got planted, of course, Hibana was going to stand up, and this is where the trap sprung. Amazing plays, amazing teamwork, amazing results, and, congratulations all around for winning the first round here. And the first round absolutely deserved. For example, here Amani's just dead angle positioning was pretty good. He does get refragged, but he still had the good reflex to gain his first firefight. Here, Dirty, almost pulling off clutch. He got 3 kills in total, right? That would have been a 4th. And as such, even though he's on the losing side, you could argue he deserves MVP for this round, because he did really, really good. And the good news is, since the defense won, it is going to be now really easy for MishMash to, guess where the defense is going to be. Because, of course, you could either go bar, which, we're not even going to talk about, or bedroom and or CCTV. And, out of those options, CCTV is a clear winner. 9 times out of 10, this is where the defense is going to go. And therefore, unlike previously, MishMash have no doubt in their minds as to where they're going to have to attack, and therefore they can prepare in consequence. However, it looks like their composition is barely, if at all, going to change, right? If you look at the players, Kenny with Ash, X-Ray Thermite, Hibana, Tony with Montaigne, of course. Was Gibby playing Sledge before? He was, and therefore, it's just more of the same as far as MishMash is concerned. And it's always like both a good and a bad thing, because that makes you predictable in some way, right? And you're not exactly 100% adaptable if you're always picking the same operators, because both bomb sites are going to be slightly different, and you may have to slightly adapt to each other's bomb sites, right? But still, if the results speak for themselves, who am I to criticize? And Saris, for example, right here, even though no kill happened, he's lost a lot of his health. So it is going to be a small victory, but a victory nonetheless for MishMash Gaming, who basically were able to flush out the bottom floor of Garage. There is still a catwalk, and that was a mistake, but he's going to get out while he's blinded. Therefore, he's relatively unscathed. His eyeballs will be, I want to say, blind for a few seconds, but nothing too major. We are eating up a few ADS devices here, but the other flashbang should have eaten up the second one. However, there's a second ADS. Therefore, Amani is impervious to grenades, but not to that opening having been made in the wall. And, oh gosh, but do they know that he's down? Probably. They gotta know, right? Yeah, right there. That's gonna be the end of Amani, rather. But Tony now with a few Gumas in his foot. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a gamble for him. luckily, the defense seems to be kind of focused in and around the OBJs, except for Arcanix, who is actively roaming right now. And looks like Max is really just looking for a way to either shoot Tony's foot when it's, poking out of the shield, or somebody who would be above his shoulder and helping him out. There is going to be Dirty, who is in the general area, who could be filling in that role, but for the time being, he is just going to be droning. Dio thus being fairly cautious, but Max with an actual cell could be the real danger to Tony here. It is going to be a bit of a standstill for the time being. Tony not pushing in too much. There is an evil eye behind him, so that's, once more going to be, I'm going to say minimizing the movements he can safely have. That evil eye being destroyed, he is now once again free to roam. But, of course, the time is on the defensive side. You're going to have to get the diffuser planted pretty quickly. Impact grenades can deal some. Oh, that could even get him down. Oh, no, if it was right behind him somehow, it may have dealt a lot of damage, but that didn't end up being the case. Max with the nitro cell getting a nice kill on the barrel of the diffuser. That is now Kenny being taken out of the picture, but still 3v3 situation with 27 seconds on the clock, and Tony with his shield as ever just blocking the angles, but just not when Dio is getting shot at from Dirty. That is now going to be clearing things up, allowing the diffuser once again to be planted. Let's see if it works out this time around. Of course, Arcanus cannot just push that angle. The shield's going to be there on the right side. Max is trying, but he's also facing stiff resistance. Both players flanking to the right, and there you have it. That doesn't work out too great, does it? Dirty with a double kill. MishMash Gaming winning round number 2. It really does look like these teams are going to be toe-to-toe the entire night, doesn't it? If Onlyfans won with a slim margin previously, this time MishMash will be doing so. So let's get it. Let's get it. Is it me, or is OBS, or the OBS running the replays maybe lagging a bit? Let's just enable a small VSync here. That should help to free up a few resources for the stream to run. And I want to say, ultimately, this map tends to not be too surprising at all, right? It is known through and through. La COP se passe dans quelle région? Ryan, cette COP, this COP is North American. Cette COP est nord-américaine, mais on lance aussi un projet européen. There's also an European COP being launched next week, actually. Ça commence la semaine prochaine. Donc, peu importe de quel coin, il va y avoir quelque chose pour toi. Okay, so that was it for round number 2. Of course, the defense losing. They are going to go CCTV again. And therefore, like I said, it's going to be more of the same. And in the right way, actually. Because here, of course, you had MishMash that won. Onlyfans, by extension, you could say they made a few mistakes, right? Had they been perfect, they would have won the game. Or the round, at the very least. So now, it would be interesting to see if they will be capable of, like, figuring out what didn't work too great, patch up those holes, and try again. And it already seems like it's going to be the case, right? Max is jamming up these walls. It is still fairly easy to open them up from the door right here, which is something Gibby is going to be attempting. He gets the first one, looking for the second. Is he going to see it? Oh, is it destroyed? Because it might be hidden behind the motorcycle. He still gets it. Okay, so that is going to be a marginally, very small amount of time being won by Onlyfans. Ultimately, I don't think it's going to make the difference between winning the round or losing the round. But it just goes to show that Max tried to reinvent the wheel, right? He tried to do something new. It kind of worked, but not enough, right? The wall still got opened. A reinforced deployable shield could have been interesting. So yeah, nicely tried. Better luck next time is what I'm gonna say here. Both teams have exchanged a lot of fire. Max was providing jammers, I believe, to the half-roof wall, and by receiving Kenny's impact grenades, that's where he lost a lot of health. And of course, Gibby had been put down by somebody running out through this impact grenade hole right here. The roamer would likely be Ceres, as he tends to be a roamer, and coincidentally, he no longer has any impact grenades in his inventory. But he's playing quite aggressively right here. Amani will be paying the price, though. Ceres not seeing anybody. Both teams losing a player, and therefore nobody actually, gaining an advantage either way. The half wall or the sub-roof has been opened up. So that could be quite interesting, but of course, right, opening up to the line of sight isn't enough, because that doesn't mean that it is safe to push forward to, right? Sarah's getting killed on Tony, but also getting refragged pretty much immediately. Both teams, once again, staying toe-to-toe. Dio, though, still has one of those evil eyes in the garage, and therefore he can just feed intel. Max, as such, getting killed on Kenny. But like I said, they're still going to be dirty right here, who is powerless to deny that evil eye camera any kind of intel, right? So Max can just walk right up whenever he pleases. And that is likely to give the advantage to Onlyfans. Dirty, has to try something, but there you have it. It's going to be the evil eye. That really is going to be his bane right here, because he cannot do anything without getting the advantage of surprise. And whenever he's holding an angle, well, then he's going to be losing a bit of health from behind. And if he turns around, well, then he's kind of static and not pushing forward. Only 30 seconds remaining on the clock, and it really is showing. It is going to be an absolute stagnation here. X-Ray has to rush in, but he picks the wrong angle. Dirty, now, really, there's not much he can do, right? He is going to be constipating, or his intel, his position is going to be known to, a pinpoint precision exactly where he is in 1v2 situation. 8 seconds on the clock, really low on health, doesn't have diffuser. Things are looking really grim. He has to try, gets a first kill. He has 2 seconds to pick up the diffuser and plant it down. It works! He is still in the game. Max, though, is going to get a really, really easy kill here. And there you have it. Like I said, back and forth. That just stays true for one more round. Wow is all I gotta say. Really, it's something. It's something. Okay, so let's go with those replays. That was nice to see at the very least. I mean, the back and forth, right? Both teams were adapting. Green didn't mention it because Tony died really early into the round. But Tony wasn't playing with a Montaigne shield anymore, right? He was still playing a shield, if you want to look at it this way. But he was updating his playstyle to not become too predictable, and basically he was trying to not be complacent. Didn't work out, but I did like the idea. Kenny also trading an Ash for Zofia, but that was basically the end of it for MishMash Gaming. Onlyfans, they were a bit more, I want to say, ready to switch things up. Of course, Max was still playing Mute, so you didn't have, for example, a Bandit making an appearance, but yeah, Mute was playing differently. And Arcane was playing Smoke previously, because we hadn't been actually into the last few seconds of the last round, but we actually didn't see Smoke putting on the smoke canisters. So maybe it's just my memory being off here.
10 seconds left.
One thing is for sure, right here, Onlyfans, they could have gone by the basement area, and they are. But they're also going to be really going to be active at the soft floor. So to me, that looks like an SSG basement strat. And you're looking at it for a few seconds. I truly thought they were going by the bedroom side. That's why I said they could have gone downstairs, and they are, right? That kind of betrayed my skepticism. Hey, Whoopu being here. Whoopu, how are you doing? Kenny, right here, is going to be trying to get the kill on the pesky Impact Nade Trickster, and that is going to work. Dio being taken out of the picture really early on. That is going to be good, because of course the evil eye cameras, we saw last round how annoying they were. Amani is already coming back on site. Mechanics is here ready to provide some resistance, because of course Tony with the dirt tunnel, and this time he didn't get any kind of resistance from a Clash shield. Therefore, it just makes things so much more easier for him. Max, however, is trying to contest, and that almost worked. He just barely missed the head. But look at Gibby's health. Though he is really low, he's still alive, right? And that really is what matters, unfortunately. But right here, Saris is going to get a kill on Kenny, who really was unaware of his surroundings. Was he planting? He was planting a breaching charge. A breaching charge. That really does speak volumes as to, how much Kenny was aware that his opponent was in the general vicinity. But still, Arcanix getting a nice kill on Dirty. The defense still does have a numerical disadvantage, right? And right here, good news is Arcanix came back. The bad news is the hatch had been opened up, leaving us with, a unfortunate Arcanix. In 1v3 situation, diffuser being planted, there's going to be Tony holding off the angle, basically protecting him. And there's also going to be the hatch. He has to get the kill. He does get it. No, he doesn't. Oh, he didn't even get the kill on Thermite. Oh, no. Because, I mean, imagine if the flick was to work, then there would still have been the problem of the hatch. And that problem could have proved fatal. That is, not to be underestimated. But at the very least, the one interesting thing is, once again, you do have the back and forth. No team really, you know, taking a distance compared to their opponents, and both teams really at odds of winning the round. Kenny getting an early kill here on Dio could have been interesting. It was, actually, but that kind of didn't become a landslide event, right? You had a 5v3 situation, but then I don't know if MishMash became complacent, but Kenny really didn't drone out enough. Not nearly enough. He didn't know that there was somebody there, and that was an unfortunate end to him, because, you know, a drone is so easy to just toss out there. It really is because he didn't believe somebody was going to be there. Because, you know, taking the appropriate measures to know for sure if there's a threat there was trivial, right? Nonetheless, it doesn't, you know, I don't feel it because the game is going strong and, you know, there's a lot of energy in my casting flight. I'm feeling good. But the first half of the game is going to be coming to an end pretty quickly. I mean, it's already the 5th round. And right here, Amani is trying to stick something to the wall, but it's just not flat enough, unfortunately.
10 seconds to
But yeah, so Onlyfans will be done with their defense pretty quickly. You are going to be having a escape tunnel setup defense here. Rio will also be playing with the shield once again, so he was quite efficient with it. You know, he did pull off a clutch in the very first round. Max, as always, playing Maestro. And yeah, then you have Arcanix, who will apparently be the one impact tricksing. We saw how well it worked out previously, right? Last round, it was Max doing this, and he just got a nasty bullet to the head when he was least suspecting it. So let's just hope for their sake that things work out a bit better, you know, to their ends. But that is not a given. MishMash, of course, are going to give it everything they got to deny such kind of outcome to actually happen, to actually come to pass. This time around, it is still going to be a church defense, of course, but there will be no top floor hold for Onlyfans. Actually, like, let's just rotate through their POVs pretty quickly. I don't believe anybody is actively roaming, right? So you do have, for example, Amani, who's not directly on bomb site. Same for Sarah's. So you could say they're anchoring outside of OBJ, but they're not roaming, not by a long shot. There's no way of interpreting it as such, you know? And therefore, MishMash are free to walk right up to the OBJ door, right? Kenny breaching, you know, the central stairs window, door, rather. But that's like going to be the first amount of resistance they're facing. There's an Eli right here. A few goo mines probably were in the barbed wire, and then Kenny's impact nade probably took them out of the picture. So that was nicely done. Another impact grenade. Anyway, it's trivially easy. And right here, first kill, Arcanix. Rotating carelessly, I want to say, and Dio knew it wasn't going to work too great for him, so he came up right here, and that could have been almost interesting if Dio wanted to try to rotate the pistol out. But here, to me, it looks like X-Ray is poised to put up this reinforced wall, and, you know, speaking of the wolf, he is right here. Though, you can hardly say that the attackers do have a strong foothold. I mean, they're still holding the hatch, and should somebody peek aggressively, you could maybe still contest Moto. The wall has been breached, though, and Montang is likely to try and funnel in. He's holding the angle for the time being. Flashed as he is, Max is likely going to attempt something, but apparently he was not flashed enough. That's going to be a good kill on Tony here, and Dio with the shield will be blocking off and ricocheting the grenade to make it or to cause it to deal a minimal amount of damage. It still took away, I want to say 10 to 15% of his health, which is not a insignificant amount, but it's still a very small number, right? And there you have it, Max apparently meeting his match. And for the time being, the attack does have the upper hand. Unfortunately, Kenny had nobody watching over him because, of course, it's too slow with the casting line to like toss in the concussion nade, cause the shield to straight to the side, and then shoot the feet. You have to have somebody else helping you out there. But it just so happens that Gibby was there when it counted the most. I was too stuck in my analysis to actually, you know, cast it and acknowledge it, but Clash was in a 1v4 situation, and that was borderline unwinnable because, of course, Clash and Montang, for what it's worth, with the shield, they're really good at surviving, right? They will not die needlessly or anything along those lines, but they have a really low firepower. It's not to be underestimated, right? Still, a bullet to the head is going to be a mistake for a medical gun. So if you have a good aim, a pistol is just as deadly as, you know, the fastest firing SMG or AR. But ultimately, when you have like a 15 bullet mag or 20 bullet mag against four other players, you know, abysmal recoil, low range, and a fairly small amount of damage per bullet in the gun, you really don't pack a good punch. And when you're last player standing, you kind of have to fend for yourself, because if not, what actually is going to happen is that, as we could see, the diffuser was getting planted. So, round number 6. Like I said, halftime is approaching pretty quickly. This is going to be the last round before the role swap. Last round, which will be played by CCTV.
10 seconds left before
And it really is a back and forth, right? There's only these 2 bomb sites which are really being played. Onlyfans were unsuccessful in winning 2 rounds in a row, and therefore they never were like forced by the circumstances to try and defend a bedroom. But you know, I am fairly confident that they would have at least known how to attempt the defense.
cover the diffuser.
I want to say one of the greatest dangers of this defense, or one of the greatest weaknesses, is always the landing area right here, because if Zofia, in that instance Kenny, can make his way to that sweet ceiling, then the mute jammer would get destroyed immediately, and then Thermite would open up the reinforced wall, which in and of itself is a really interesting way to get the diffuser planted, but also to have a cross angle on the guy holding garage from the catwalk. So defending that was of the utmost importance, and we could see that Max kind of tried. He had a shotgun opening in the floor, and he tried to shoot a shotgun pellet out before receiving the impact nade. He tried, but ultimately he failed, and therefore you still also had Saris, who was there roaming, but they weren't insistent enough. I don't understand why, right? Because if you're just forcing yourself into a disadvantaged situation just because you want to hold onto your map control as much as possible, it might be inconsiderate, right, to knowingly engage in a really disadvantaged firefight. But still, that just leaves with the tactical situation which we see right now, Oh, well, that was quite nice. Only a few X-Kairos are going to be almost blowing up, but it looks like there was another impact nade preventing this. Who exactly was it? Because how many impact nades do you have here? Who was it? Because like Saris had the impacts, but I thought the nades came through the hatch, which doesn't seem to have been the case. You do have Dio down but not out. Unfortunately, there's no Doc in the defensive composition, so somebody will have to physically run right up to him, which doesn't seem to be too likely here. Arcanix has tried to play for time as much as he could with the toxic waves, but it only does so much. Tony right here is likely to breathe in a puff of toxic gas. That could almost be the enemy. Monty is going to fall down. And yes, he was still in the smoke just by a tiny little bit, but that was just enough. X-Ray, last player alive in a 1v4 situation. Just like the inflicted Onlyfans previously, now they are fighting themselves in, a bit of a pickle, I want to say. He has 40 seconds, most of his health, but no diffuser, and his position is known. What can he do? He tries to go for the first kill. He does get it, but it's going to come to the cost of roughly a quarter of his health, so it is dwindling, and the rate at which he's exchanging health for kills is just not sustainable. At that rate, he's going to lose the round. Plus, the timer is just waiting for nobody. So what can you do? Just press him even harder, try to do things faster, which implies cutting corners, and hope for the best. That flash is unlikely to do too much. Max was complacent with 9 bullets in the gun. He almost got it because his aim was on point, but he didn't pull the trigger. Like right here, did he receive bullets, Arcanix? Yeah, I believe he was hit once, like in the shoulder or something. That was a close call. And I want to say, you really do have to commend Thermite here, because the attempt had been made. He got 2 players out. Admittedly, they did commit a bit of a mistake, both of them. I mean, peeking the way both players did was dangerous, to say the least. But still, right, X-Ray tried his best. He got partial results. And in a 1v4 situation, you are unlikely to get the first kill in the first place, because you have a really strong numerical disadvantage. He could have been outflanked, outgunned. But he somehow was able to basically isolate 2 kills, right? And the third, he just lost his firefight. So ultimately, he kept his cool. He didn't lose, his concentration, and did pretty well. But that was just not enough, considering, the gravity of the disadvantage he was in. But hey, attempts have been made, and now the world swap is going to happen with a 3-3 score line. Could it be any more tied? Answer is no, it couldn't be. And I, for one, am absolutely happy about this. Do not forget that it's a best of 3. So the team that takes the first game here, the first map, is not exactly going to be, you know, taking everything all at once. Of course, it will be possible that one of those two teams wins the first and the second map back to back. But, you know, the first match in and of itself isn't worth much if you can't actually bag the second map as well.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
A few sips of water later, and I'm good to keep on going. Wow, casting 3 maps back to back with this level of energy is going to make a number on my voice. But the game, or the night, is still fairly young, and I'm still, you know, fairly fresh. So, it is going to be a CCTV defense. So, like I said at the very beginning of the game, right, the two better bomb sites here are really close to one another. You could either prefer to defend CCTV or church, either way. And it really does look like MishMash right here, unlike their counterparts, do prefer CCTV. And to destroy the openings, or to destroy the batteries, rather than taking the Zofia, in that instance it would have been Dio, and to, you know, go into landing and destroy the ceiling, it looks like Onlyfans, they are content in bringing a Kali. It is a bit of a risk, for a main reason. You are giving up quite a lot of firepower, because the sniper, though really strong, is not the best gun at all to actually push up, right, to play the entry fragger role. And when I say it's not the best gun at all, it is a huge understatement. It is atrocious. If you were to be the last player alive, like Ceres is actually likely to be, because if things were to go south, he would be hanging out while his teammates would be, you know, dying while rushing into the OBJ. So therefore, it makes the job of attacking so much harder. But if the diffuser gets planted, look at the angle Ceres can hold. That would be great. So yeah, that's kind of the all or nothing game Onlyfans are playing right now. Dio kind of watching out for his back. There is a Claymore there, but of course, you know, Claymore is fairly easy to circumvent if you're a skilled defender. Just like X-Ray seems to be here. He's going to be denying one of Amani's exothermic charges. There still is a second one, but of course, X-Ray also does have a second impact nade, so it doesn't seem to be too wise. Or actually, no, that was the second one. Arcanix now will have to try something with the X-Karos. He seems to want... I'm not sure what he wanted to do. Because, like, you could maybe toss a pair out, cause X-Ray to, you know, throw his second grenade, which he did, and then open it up for a real. But it looks like they didn't have to go in too much details or in too much subtlety, because it still worked pretty quick, pretty fine. And therefore, Onlyfans are looking fairly good. It was a 2v4 situation, or a 2v3. The advantage they had has shrunk by, you know, a small margin, but they still have an advantage. And right here, Thermite is now in. Amani will be trying to plant. He was able to also evade the toxic gas, and now he is, you know, well inside death room, and Gibby is going to be hard pressed to actually counter it, because of course the angle was being watched. And there you have it. Arcanix is going to get it. Like, it was quite aggressive here. They absolutely knew where the last defender was, because you don't just rush into OBJ like he did if you're not absolutely sure that your rush is going to be safe, or that it's not going to be punished, right? Doing this against like 3 or 4 attackers, defenders alive, that would have been an immediate death sentence. But for the time being, Onlyfans, they had the initial lead, right? They won a point, it was 2-2, it was 1-1, then they had the upper hand by having a 2-1 situation. And eventually, MishMash, they won 2 points. So now it was like 3-2, and then the back and forth happened. But, you know, when A team had the upper hand, it was MishMash. Now, Onlyfans, they have won 2 rounds in a row, and they now, again, hold the upper hand. It's only a upper hand, you know, caused by a single point. So a really slim margin. There's no way to sugarcoat this, but it still is going to be a small advantage that the two have here. And MishMash, what are you guys doing? It looks like they're playing the disinformation card. We are going to be seeing a bedroom defense for the very first time here in this match tonight. It's quite interesting to see how exactly things are going to turn out, because, of course, bedroom would be considered as being a weaker bomb site. That is for damn sure. But how and why exactly are they doing this? Because To me, it seems like they're gonna try to force OnlyFans to push up a bomb site with an ill-prepared composition, and you know,
Attackers must locate
basically
and
hurting
defuse the
yourself
bomb.
in the hopes of hurting your opponent even more. But if I was to check how, you know, OnlyFans are equipped, you still do have both Amani playing Hibana, Arcanix playing Thermite, and Saris on the Kali. So they seem to be really well equipped to open up like the reinforced walls, right? So, for example, Dirty right here, there's no way for a Zofia or an Ashe to breach the floor. And if you were to have like strong, for example here, castle barricades with the ADS devices, you can protect this well fairly, you know, reasonably well. And therefore, the bandit batteries should in theory be safe. But that is not taking a Kali into consideration, you know? And there you have it. You know, Dirty is right here, but he's just a little bit too far away to actually actively bandit tricks. It feels like it at the very least. He isn't try it. Is another Kali gonna be coming up? He could have gotten it though. Why did you just bail out, Dirty? You had it. Oh gosh. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Circular I'm gonna say preference. But hey, you get the point. Mistakes have been made on the blue side, I want to say, and therefore OnlyFans are now, you know, they're going to be finding themselves in a good situation. Not perfect, nobody has died, only minimal, you know, amount of damage have been dealt to each other's team, but an opening, a crucial opening has been created. On the other side, you still do have the attackers, Max and Saris, trying to flush out Kenny, who no longer can basically retreat because there is going to be Saris holding up the angle. Tony is there as well. They are providing a brilliant resistance, but of course, eventually they will be overwhelmed. With Tony dying, that leaves Kenny alone, and that was Amani getting the kill. I wanted to rotate on his POV, but he died at the very same time. So, what do you have now? A 3v5 situation. Looks like MishMash's bet didn't turn out too great. OnlyFans were just too well equipped, be it by hazard or by, you know, design. OnlyFans were ready for this kind of play. They have somehow lost a diffuser without losing a single player, so somebody must have just dropped it for some reason. And Gibby, getting the first pick of his team, he was supposed to get another one, and he misses the drill. That is unfortunate. There is a proximity alert beeping somewhere, so you know they're going to be pressed hard. Behind him, there's got to be Hibana, and by running around, he of course was also exposing himself to a few angles. So had Dio lost this face check, I mean, the attack would still have succeeded. But there you have it. I said OnlyFans previously had a slim advantage. A 2-point lead is something we've never seen before as far as this match is concerned. And when you have teams that are so well tied together, well, only winning 2 rounds in a row seems to be a really, or even 3 rounds in a row at this point. That is a really good achievement to be had. Therefore, I want to say, MishMash, you are now in hot waters. You know, being down 2 points usually isn't that big of a deal. But like I said, both teams are really close to each other, and winning multiple rounds in a row is, you know, a legit achievement considering the situation here. So, to the blue team. The blue team, now is no longer the time to take unnecessary risks, because, yeah, you can get punished for those pretty quickly. It's happened once or twice at this point. MishMash, what are you doing? They're just doubling down and going right here again. The unfortunate news, MishMash, is going to be, wait for it, OnlyFans. They have the exact same composition as they did last time. Let me just double check just to be absolutely sure. Yeah, exactly. The same operators being played by the same player. The defense also is going to be the exact same compared to last round. So what can you say? It is really going to come down to execution, both on the defense and on the attack. The defense, of course, has to mix things up, because OnlyFans, what they did previously, worked out. So, you know, if you were to look at it from the Orange team's perspective, more of the same means more points, right? So, MishMash, how are you going to reinvent the wheel to prevent, you know, the same outcome to happen yet again? Those small bullet holes can be interesting, but holding them really does keep you vulnerable to... This wall has been reinforced, granted, but, you know, the window right here is going to be your Achilles heel. If you were to play aggressively the way you seem to want to try. Yep, he is unironically holding the angle. And it does make sense. I mean, Max here is going to be running in. He destroys the main camera, and he is now Gonna be in the bullet holes opening or line of sight, but Kenny is unfortunately not holding said angle. And is it just me, or was Max aware of the opening? Because at this point, like, he's so close, and he now knows. It could just be an unfortunate wallbang, but it's not gonna happen. Showing the new gem, of course, is going to allow Money to run in. So yeah, Kenny and Dirty gonna playing it, I want to say, dangerously, because reinforcing when the attackers are knocking at the door, that's a great risk to take. If it is to work out, great. I mean, more power to you. But, you know, considering what happened last time around, they were able to play for time, but they still got flushed out pretty easily. So you still have to prove yourself, in my eyes. As far as this strategy is concerned, because as a team we've seen before, I mean, they're good. But it doesn't look like the bedroom thing is working out too great for them. The opening right here, of course, is going to cause Dirty to turn around, plus Hibana. Things are not going to be looking too great. Right here, Kenny is taking a lot of damage. He has to rotate out, kind of leaving Dirty alone. He tried to play aggro, but yeah, Mani lost roughly, you know, just under half his health. Well, a third of his health. It's something, but not nearly enough to secure a kill. Kenny looking at the hatch here, and that's nice and all, but Arcanix is there. Doesn't seem to be too content on dropping down, though. Eventually, the pressure is going to mount, but for the time being, he's just using that utility without getting any kind of advantage in return. Flashes are notoriously unreliable, so of course I understand why. You rarely, if ever, see somebody tossing a flash, hoping his opponent is blinded and rushing in behind. That would be a great risk to take. But still, I fail to see how or why exactly the flashbangs are going to be used here. Kenny does get a kill on Dio, bringing the scales back, you know, to a straight line. It's going to be a 4v4 situation. But look at Kenny and Gibby's health, which, of course, Money here has been put in a down but not out situation. Otherwise, the attackers are still up to 100% health. And that didn't work the first time around. Let's see if Max can provide a different result. Oh no, he was just rushing and he wanted to pursue, but that did not work out too great. And I gotta say, looks like MishMash are on their way to get a different result. 8 seconds remaining on the clock. Arcanix, last player alive. Heavy pre-fires will get him down. And that will be MishMash cutting off their, stopping the bleeding. Yes, stopping the bleeding. I'm just like looking for another expression which would say the same thing to have an extra colorful language, but I'm just looking for words, and that doesn't work out too great, does it? Though, I mean, they were down by 2 points. Now they're only down by a single point. It is still a disadvantaged situation in an extremely close game. So let's see if they're capable of winning 2 rounds in a row. They did that before, granted, but MishMash were attacking back then, and it does look, I mean, considering what Onlyfans just did, you know, 2 rounds ago, it does look like the offense would be, you know, ever so slightly more advantaged by the tiniest of amounts. But oh gosh, the replays aren't showing, by the way. But when the teams are so close together, the smallest advantage could actually tip the scales, you know. So yeah, we'll be somewhat late on the preparation phase because goddamn replays, goddamn Alzheimer. I didn't think about those. Of course, I'm joking, right? And actually, you know, I maybe shouldn't joke around, you know, those kinds of diseases because they're actually really fucking disgusting. But yeah, I have so many things to think about that sometimes a detail or two tends to slip my mind. Without further ado, and we're quite late to the party, but let's jump into the 10th round. It is going to be MishMash's first church defense. So it looks like MMG have been roasted by the whole population of Spain. Craps, MishMash, if you're still here, how does it feel to have an actual like nation roast you? I want to hear that. I want to get that scoop. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be MishMash's first basement hold. They've attacked it successfully once or twice, you know, when they were attacking. So of course they are well aware of, you know, the defensive side's flaws and challenges, and hopefully for them they're gonna have an interesting response to I want to say the weaknesses they exploited in Onlyfans' defense when they themselves were attacking. But let's see how things turns out. How things turn out. Grammar. looks like their setup is going to be fairly similar, though not exactly identical to what Onlyfans were bringing to the table when they were defending. Because, of course, I mean, at the end of the day, they're still doing the same thing Onlyfans were doing a few rounds ago. But the orange team is not exactly going to be mimicking the way MishMash were attacking. Of course, Cyrus is going to be sticking to Kali. And this time around, there's no like easy way to just sit outside of the building and snipe, you know, from a long distance. Because, of course, if you're in the basement, there doesn't tend to be too many windows in the basement area. So he has no choice but to pick up the SPS MG9 with a mouthful, right? The full auto pistol, and to play it by a close quarter play style. So, yeah, things aren't going to be too easy, considering, you know, the sniper rifle and all that good stuff. But he's still doing his absolute best. And he's pushing forward ever so slightly, but he still is. And that drone was a perfect distraction, if I do say so myself. Amani kind of using up, was Dio's drone? Yeah, it seems to be Dio, since there's another drone. Yeah, right here. That was Dio's drone. So Dio doing his teammate a huge favor, but Sarah's, of course, with the small firepower he has, unfortunately was bested. That was just a matter of time. But right here, the interesting thing is that the attackers are coming in from a few different angles. Arcanix right here, central stairs, those get done dirty. You have Dio pushing from escape tunnel, and Amani on the hatch, and that is, you know, bound to split the defender's attention, which can be really strong if used effectively. A frag and a refrag later is stubbornly going to be staying in a 2v2 situation, or, you know, at an equilibrium. Amani having dropped down, Tony knows the diffuser is likely to get planted. Plus, it looks like there's going to be probably an eval camera having intel on Amani, so he cannot plant. That is just not an option. But now, with 7 seconds remaining on the clock, he has to try. The rotation gets caught off. Gibby, last player alive, behind a reinforced wall right here. He didn't get it, and that was a drop shot to Arcanex, presumably without aiming due to the drop shot, getting a headshot. Nice shot. It did sound redundant. Kind of was, but hey, you gotta give props where props is due, or where credits is due. You get the point. Thing is, yeah, Onlyfans, they denied MishMash the opportunity to win 2 rounds in a row, and to bring this back up to a 5-5 scoreline. Therefore, instead of having MishMash win the hypothetical point, Onlyfans got it, and now it's gonna be a 6-4 situation. Match point for Onlyfans. So at this point, the question really is going to be, can you realistically expect MishMash to win 2 points in a row, to have the 6-6 situation, to bring this into overtime, and from that point on, hypothetically, hopefully, eventually win it out? I gotta say, it does not look too good. They really have struggled to win their defenses ever since the rule swap has occurred. I mean, if I was to look at the historical data, our last defense, that was our last defense. Okay, 11th round is going to be on church again. If I was to look at it, right, the rule swap has occurred 4 rounds ago, and this is the 5th. Out of those 4 rounds, Onlyfans won 3, and MishMash only 1. That means, I mean, if I was just to use those numbers to, you know, extrapolate crude stats, Onlyfans have a 75% chance of putting an end to the game right here. I know using historical data is not necessarily iffy at best, because there is still some amount of variation possible. You know, both teams learning from their mistakes and evolving and all that good stuff. I mean, the players aren't like robots, right? But still, MishMash don't seem to be capable to evolve nearly quickly enough to turn this around. Sorry for the short interruption. So, of course, I said they're not evolving nearly enough, but they're still trying new things, right? Of course, Pulse is known to be a fairly good operator down here, but it was the first time MishMash were actually bringing him or feeling him in that basement floor. We are, however, going to be seeing a Sledge also be present, and he's going to be making a number on the floor, right? Max just destroying left and right, cutting off a lot of rotation, it is also going to allow a kill on 30 to come to pass, and therefore a 4v5 situation is going to be, I want to say, ill-liked or ill-advised for the defense. 3v5 now. Amani getting a solid kill. Tony seems to be kind of caught behind the water boiler or machine or what would you? I don't know exactly what those things are supposed to be. Generators, I want to say. It's a utility room. What the hell do I know? I'm no mechanic. But you get the idea. He is stuck behind that piece of cover. Except if he was to rotate through that hole in the wall. But still, things are not looking too great for MishMash, especially considering the fact that we're in a match point situation. X-Ray with only one quarter of his health remaining. Gibby and Tony are, Tony especially is kind of stuck there. I mean, if he rotates, he's basically giving up blue in utility room. And if he gets actively, engaged, or if the angle was to be actively watched, his ability would be severely limited. There was somebody right here, so DAL will have to put his aggression on pause, but it's going to be nothing too major, right? I mean, the smoke dissipates within a few seconds, and now he's good to go again, except if Gibby tosses out another toxic babe. Once again, playing for time, once again, winning a bit of time, but it's not going to be enough to actually win the timer, or win due to the timer. He does get the kill on Amani, who was the bearer of the diffuser, so that can be really good. That can come and pay dividends later on. Tony getting a kill on Max, now a 3-3 situation with X-Ray actually getting a lot of job done as well. Dio now, last player alive, gets one, looking for a second one. That doesn't work out too great. He has to withstand. He is going to get back on his feet, but oh gosh, is it ever going to be a close one? 10 seconds on the clock. What can he do? He has to try to rotate through utility room. Oh gosh, no X-Ray. He is now in the basement hallway. He's no longer, directly behind the church. Tony dropping down, but it looks like X-Ray was actually capable of getting the kill at the very last moment. So, you are going to have MishMash Gaming keeping this match alive for, at the very least, one more round. What exactly is it going to entail? I mean, like I said, are they going to be capable of winning 2 rounds in a row to bring this into overtime? Historically speaking, they haven't shown themselves to be capable of it. But, I mean, there has to be a first eventually, right? Why not now? Actually, it's now or never. So they got one down, one more to go. And the good news is it's been quite a while since you last won CCTV, hasn't it? Therefore, I mean, CCTV was their primary bomb site, and we will be seeing another top floor defense as it is. AKA Wiz saying Onlyfans are just better. I mean, if the game was to end right here, I would tend to agree with you since they do have the most amount of points. But the game is not yet over. Not exactly. MishMash are still backs against the wall, so there's still, not much they can do if they were to commit a single mistake. And some teams just tend to be able to play better under the pressure, right? That is kind of an extra incentive to, outdo yourself. And sometimes it's all that you need. But having that kind of mentality or psychology is a bit of a dangerous game to play, to be honest, because even if you are to play better than your usual self under this kind of pressure, the danger is that eventually, even if you are doing yourself, a mistake is still going to be made, right? Eventually that mistake is going to be fatal if you're playing backs against the wall for the entirety of your adrenaline pumped clutch situation thingy. So yeah, the attackers of course are already coming in. Sarah is having lost the first lance. Where exactly did it get tossed though? Was it to destroy a evil eye camera? No, there's no evil eye in here. Right here, of course. So it's fairly easy just to ask, for example, X-Ray to come and bring another mute jammer, but that will not happen. Was that? Okay, that was Dio, because I thought it was from beneath, and I was kind of confused here. Tony is also a bit too far out to just replace the lost jammer. But my question is, will somebody actually breach this wall? Because, yeah, it didn't seem to be the focal point of attention. Ultimately, I mean, the jammer has been destroyed, so yeah, Amani will breach this in a matter of seconds. I'm fairly sure of that, and he's definitely positioning himself to do just that. But it still has to happen, and in the meantime, Max is going to be the sole attacker here. should the defense use, I mean, that numerical advantage to get a kill, it could be, you know, a situation or an advantage that will not present itself anytime soon. Because, of course, as soon as the wall opens up, well, then you're going to also have Amani helping out. But it looks like Onlyfans were unaware that the defense just gave up a lot of territory, right? They repelled or they you know, came back in and around the bomb sites and basically gave it up CCTV. Was it the right call to make? Couldn't tell you, because of course they're not dying you know, on CCTV, but neither are they getting their kills. And on bomb site itself, things are not looking too great. I mean, Gibby is technically alone. Kenny is not too far out, and he can land a helping hand if needed. But, you know, in the immediate sense of the word, he's back on bomb site. So my sentence, it took too long and the situation changed. But Gibby with another run out, getting another kill. That's now a 2v2 situation, holding a very tight angle, but that is a dangerous game to play. Magnet being tossed, but that seems to be trivially easy to destroy. The diffuser has to get to be recovered. Max will be doing just that. Was it a team kill? It was a team kill. Oh no, Arcane next. So 2v1 situation. The tables have turned. You still have a lot of time to work with, but I mean, yeah, he was in a 1v2 situation, and his position was known. The team kill was really unfortunate, though. I mean, really unfortunate. So yeah, MishMash, I said, are you capable of getting the comeback? I kind of doubted you for a second, but you proved me wrong, and, you know, more power to you. So yes, this match is stubbornly still going, and let's see how things turn out. I do like to see really how MishMash are capable to really reinvent the wheel. Whenever Onlyfans were losing a defense, and when they went, you know, at the same OBJ again the next time around, they would use basically the same defense and patch up the minute details that didn't work out, right? Oh, the one angle was being poorly held, or oh, the one really was too dangerous, but just add an ADS device, for example, and that was like the extent of the modifications compared to the one before. MishMash are really reinventing the wheel. So, overtime is now officially a go, and it's going to be a church defense for MishMash. I don't know if you guys can hear me drink a bit of water. But yeah, talking the entire time does tend to make a number on your voice. What do we have here? A basement defense. Like I said, blue team MishMash are going to be the first one defending. Kenny bringing Ella to the table. That is something that we have not seen too often. Oh, I gotta just share this anecdote with you. I had a conversation recently with my girlfriend, hypothetical, about baby names. I'm not there in my life, not by a long shot, but I mean, we were just talking, you know, just messing around. And unironically, like dead serious, the girlfriend said that Ella and Zofia would be nice girl or baby girl names. She said like she likes the tonality of it. So if things were to happen this way, yeah, eventually maybe one of my kids would be unironically named after Rainbow Six. Though, I mean, yeah, we're still far away from this happening, but I wanted to share the anecdote. Dio has been able to flush out, was it Kenny holding the angle? Yeah, I think it was, without too many problems, but of course Kenny without holding the angle didn't allow Dio to actually get the kill. So nobody really did gain the advantage here. A few warning shots will be fired, but nobody will be hit. What else is happening? It looks like X-Ray is going to be receiving some vertical pressure that is, of course, going to be next. With Sledge trying to, you know, get a cheeky angle on one or the other defenders, and though, I mean, by opening up the floor, he might eventually see somebody. For the time being, him getting killed doesn't seem too likely. There's nobody, you know, hankering down behind that shelf, for example. But he's providing a good distraction, and that should allow our money right here to open up the reinforced hatch. Of course, X-Ray could try to play with the impact matrix, but that would have been dangerous considering that Max was right there. He still tries it, but that was botched and not just loaded. So there you have it. Hatch is going to get opened up, but Saris did take a lot of damage, or, you know, some damage here. He was maybe unaware that the rotation was going to happen, and he was, you know, ill prepared for that. Because with the sniper rifle, he, on paper, should have cut this off. But hey, looks like Kenny will be the next one to have to, you know, withstand a trial by fire, because he is going to be getting the pressure. A Grisma mine is blowing up, so if you didn't know somebody was going to be there, he now knows. But the effects of the Grisma will, you know, dissipate, and he hasn't gotten a kill by doing so. Yeah, I always do want to mention it because it feels like the utility is being used or something along those lines. But of course, I mean, not everything is going to be perfect every time. He does get a nice shotgun kill. There's going to be another player right there, actually planting the diffuser, but the hatch was being held. He was basically, you know, cut off in the dirt tunnel. And now, X-Ray in 1v3 situation, there is somebody prone right there, but he seems really to be expecting the defender, or the attacker actually, to be in the main staircase. Ceres thus surprising his opponent and getting Onlyfans to be in a match point situation. It's yet again, however, this time it's going to be in overtime. So yeah, MishMash, they were able, you know, to crawl back out of the ditch, but I mean, yet again, they are in a match point situation yet again. Really isn't, or Onlyfans really are not forgiven whatsoever. Their playstyle is brutally effective. Like, it leaves no place for mistake, none whatsoever. Ella was stuck in dirt tunnel. There was nothing she could have done, right? She did receive a bit of pressure, did get the kill on Thermite, but ultimately, the attackers, Onlyfans, they realized exactly what was at play. They didn't have to push. The hatch was being held, so Ella was caught in there. Apparently, Kenny knew the diffuser was being planted because he tried to, you know, get out of the tunnel, but that didn't work out too great. So it is what it is. Nicely tried. Better luck next time, which might not happen, because if Onlyfans were to win this defense, it would be the end of the game. Not the best of 3, mind you, but it would still be the end of the game. If I was to look at historical data, we have had church defenses 3 times. 3 times when Onlyfans were defending. And Onlyfans lost said defenses in the basement 2 out of 3 times. So historically speaking, things are not looking too great for Onlyfans either. Oh gosh, I have a feeling that will go, you know, that this map will end, you know, 7-8. Of course, once again, this is going to be a really obvious SSG basement strat right here. Let's see what is going to happen here. MishMash seem to know they are putting some pressure on the top floor, and they're gathering intel actually more than anything else. And it looks like they don't want to push this too much, or, you know, they don't want to commit too many resources to a possibly disadvantaged situation. Kenny is going to get a first kill on Max or KNX, and Ceres seem to be rotating back. Arcanix is, but Mute apparently will be holding his ground and doubling down. The hatch, however, has been opened up, and therefore, I mean, he's too late to, for example, just shoot down the Skyros. But if he is to be patient enough, because I don't see any attacker for the time being trying to flush out a top floor hold for the defense, right? No anti-roaming efforts are being deployed by MishMash. Therefore, Ceres, for the time being, at the very least, is in a relatively safe position. He just has to not make too much noise. That means stop fidgeting around left and right, stop moving, basically, and just wait for somebody to hold the angle on the hatch, and then you're gonna get an easy shot. But I mean, maybe I'm just a bit too curious or a bit too cautious. But yeah, going left and right, he is making small footstep noises, and if you're not too cautious, the really amazing advantage of surprise that you still seem to have is gonna, you know, disappear. We did see his silhouette standing up a few moments ago, so yeah, he is not playing it the way I would play it. But then again, he's in the playoffs and I'm not, so who am I to criticize? One thing is for sure, this situation, DAM is stagnating. Oh, Gaby right here could be playing directly in Ceres' hand. Or just, you know, step forth for a few more steps, and that's the end of it. But Gibby stubbornly not exploding himself, whether he knows it or not, right? I mean, oh goddamn, Sarah is still having the advantage surprise. I want to say kill. At this point, this tenacity better had be rewarded, because if not, it's going to be so disappointing. And no, it's going to be a money from below. Oh gosh, Sarah's just don't want to say giving up at this point. He does get a kill on Tony though, so ultimately it did work out. Kenny really low on health. The shield could be a great danger to him. X-Ray getting the cruiser plant. Arcanex is downstairs, has to deny it, but that could just be a team kill. And Onlyfans winning round number 11. That is going to be a good map, good half for you. And Onlyfans will be taking the first match home. Hard fought victory. I couldn't have put it better. So Max apparently will be your MVP player. Let's see exactly how many kills we got. The interesting thing is there were no rehosts. So 13-10, then it drops down. You have a few more kills here, of course. The orange team won a few more rounds, but nobody was like utterly useless, right? You have nobody that has like one only kill. And that's nice to see, because the players are on a fairly equal footing field or playing field. Therefore, I mean, you have a useless player in the team, it's just unfortunate for everybody involved. Hey guys, do you want to start the other game right now, or do you want to like take a little break? All right, we'll wait say 5 minutes. Awesome. All right, so let's jump back right into that screen. No, you didn't hear it because the replays were still playing. But we are gonna be having a 3-minute break before the other match begins. So let's just use that opportunity to indicate that Onlyfans, they won their first match. The second map is going to be Villa. And it's actually going to be up to MishMash to attack. Therefore, it is going to be the orange team that attacks first. Yes. Okay, blue team is still going to be called MishMash. Yeah, MishMash Gaming. And the orange team is going to be called Onlyfans. There we have it. Peep saying, spoiled, no! No, sirs, what have you done? Spoiled, don't plus. Okay, yeah, that was a nice match, though. It was a nice game. And really, I mean, it's hard for me to analyze this kind of matches. First and foremost, because I'm no analyst. I mean, if you hear my casting, I'm a lot more of a play-by-play caster myself. But also, you know, Clubhouse as a map hasn't played through and through. Nothing really surprised me or caught me off guard, maybe except Sarah's advantage of surprise that he had earlier today. But that was, I want to say, the extent of it, right? If I was really to compare both teams, like I said, MishMash, when things weren't going their way, they really did reinvent the wheel. Whereas Onlyfans were a bit more predictable, a bit more consistent with their strategies. But, I mean, that maybe also might indicate that their strategies were just better or more consistent in the first place, right? So ultimately, it's fairly hard to, strats-wise or play style-wise, to indicate a clear winner. MishMash definitely lost there. I mean, it was no fluke, even though it was a close match. It was not won by a single lucky wallbang random shot, right? But still, a really close match, the way you like to see them. So hey, that's all I gotta say here. The whole population of Spain saying easy win, easy Coley. Though, let's keep in mind that this is a best of 3, so MishMash can still take it home, right? They just have to win the 2 next matches. The 2 next maps, which are going to be Villa, this one, of course. And should we go into overtime, should we go into tiebreaker, which I gotta have a feeling it will, we would then have Cafe. Since we still have a bit of time on the break, let's not be in caps lock. Let's Kali Sniper is so much better than Kali's SMG. Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a one-shot gun, isn't it? So yeah, here, MishMash against Onlyfans. Oh, I'm not logged in, that's why I cannot enter the scores. it's a bit too early to enter the scores of the entire game, but you can already respond or say that Onlyfans won the first match 8-6. Right? Yeah, they did. I'm not that dumb. Okay. How can Amani be in the mid hallway without getting killed? Good question. Good question. Okay. So yeah, whenever you guys are ready, I'm ready to go as always. Actually, no. You know what? Might as well refill the water bottle because I'm drinking out of it. So I'll put us in the be right back screen, which will last for 30 seconds. Time to go to the closest sink and just fill in the water bottle. Actually, guys, just give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna go refill my water bottle. Didn't think about that earlier. My bad on that. Be back in 30 seconds. So yeah, see you guys in a bit. Yeah, really short bit.
The bomb diffuser. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. 5 seconds remaining. Go.
Les assaillants ont activé le désamorceur.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. 10 seconds remaining. Attackers have located the diffuser.
Device terminated.
And we are back, and we're jumping right into it for real. This is going to be a second match of the day. Onlyfans, having won the first match tonight, only have to gain this second victory to take the cake basically. And of course, MishMash Gaming will do their absolute best to deny this kind of situation to actually happen. So what will we have? A Villa game. Who do you ban on Villa? Well, there's no way around it, right? Rainbow Six meta is still Rainbow Six meta. So Thatcher, maybe not Maverick. Jackal, maybe. This map is, I want to say, roamer friendly without necessarily being roamer heavy per se. Still, it is not going to be up to Onlyfans to ban an attacker because we are on the wrong side. Oh gosh, yeah, just swap the bans here, please, because it is actually like the orange team attacking first. Montaigne is taken out of the picture. It looks like a certain someone was a tiny bit too annoying with Montaigne on MishMash's side, right? It's nice, or it's not. I want to say interesting. It is interesting to see how different teams will have different perspectives on the same situation. Because Of course, right, let me just Pulse being our last ban. Okay, so yeah, because of course, right, it is Tony, right? Tony is a notorious shield player, a really good shield player. I've been told multiple times that he is considered by a lot of players as being the best T3 Montaigne player out there. And it comes to no surprise, therefore, that Montaigne could be banned on this map or on any map whenever you're playing against MG. However, I myself am sometimes, you know, talking to the players just to see what the perspective is of the same event, you know, of the same game, of the same match, but you know, seen through the eyes of an actual player. And some players will say, "Oh yeah, that Montaigne is like really dangerous. You have to ban it out. You really don't want to be playing against a shield." But some other teams, some other players will kind of dismiss Tony's shield plays as not being strong enough to actually warrant a target ban against him. And this is what I meant when I said it's interesting to see how different people will have different perspectives of the same events. Okay. With that being said, however, we are going to be having a first defense, which is going to come by the statues. And what can I say here? Nothing is actually going to be too surprising on this front. I mean, nothing is really catching me off guard. It looks like we're going to be having an extended hold. First and foremost, there is a castle barricade right here. And why would you deploy one? Just simply to protect said rotation hold right here. Otherwise, I mean, those reinforcements right here to protect roamers are not unusual whatsoever. At this point, they're, I mean, the norm, right? So I wouldn't exactly consider them as being a symptom of an extended hold. But that is still an extended hold, right? Is it not? Let's see how exactly Onlyfans are going to react to that. Sarah's and the benches here is just drawing it out. There is nobody on the first floor. Everybody's at the top. Is at the top. Therefore, Onlyfans will have no difficulties whatsoever to just funnel in and to gain a foothold. However, you will soon have some amount of resistance, right? Money is, of course, going to be breaching the ceiling, and therefore, somebody is bound to shoot back. It seems to be dirty if I am recognizing this right. And it is, and he gets a kill on Max. But of course, Max is not alone. Amani is firing back, trying to get a refrag, trying to get vengeance. He is tossing flash grenades, just using up those ADS devices. Had there been like a grenade to toss after those flashbangs, could have been interesting, but that is just not going to be the case. Another flash is being tossed in. But, you know, ultimately the thing is, Dirty is not exposed to those openings in the floor, so it's nice and all, but as soon as he peeks, actually, as soon as he peeks in, this is where Dirty is going to be finding meeting his match, Imani, taking him out of the picture. But ultimately, things are still not, you know, figured out, if I can put it this way. The attackers still have a lot of work to do, because, you know, you got a single kill, you didn't exactly wear down the defensive, you know, setup. Sarah's joining from the bottom floor. The drone will have to get up pretty quickly, and of course, you could be somewhat in a dangerous position if not. But like, the big picture is the defenses still stand, right? Hard breaching hasn't really happened. Eating up those ADS devices, yeah, sure, but no, like, grenade has been fired up behind those to like get a kill or something along those lines. Barbed wire is still there, so you cannot just flank or just roll it without the defense knowing they're going to be there. And there's going to be Gibby getting killed on Amani. By the way, Arcanix is also dying at the same time, so is Ceres. Therefore, Dio, last player alive. Gibby's down, so let's say 1v3 rather than a 1v4. And it could become a 1v2 pretty quickly. Of course, Smoke can still, on paper, be revived, but I don't expect this to happen. Oh, he was ready, but just too little, too late. MishMash Gaming winning round number 1. And that is going to be a strong start for them, because yeah, the attackers' push was interesting, but ultimately, I'm just going to be repeating myself. They, and by they I mean Onlyfans, did not wear down the defenses nearly enough. You got a kill by breaching, you know, a really small portion of the floor. Yeah, sure. You try to get a second one, then, you know, it was kind of a back and forth. But thing is, as soon as the attackers tried to run up the stairs and tried to actually funnel into the OBJ, well, they were still facing up the entire defenses of the preparation phase setup. So that was the real problem here, and maybe I should display the replays, because that is something I did not prepare for. Give me half a second, and there we go. Okay.
I need to reload.
Yeah. So it is of course going to be Dirty getting a first kill, then getting refragged. Edamani fighting this match a few minutes later, but you know, in the form of Gibby actually for Astra. Those small stacks of plays were problematic, but you know, they played the time, but they only win you so many seconds. You know, the smoke is going to dissipate pretty quickly, and then you're left with dwindling defenses. But ultimately, once again, they were not dwindling nearly enough to realistically put MishMash at danger of losing the round. And that is going to leave us with, once again, it seems to be a signature move of MishMash to pick a seemingly odd bomb site.
5 seconds left.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wait. What is this electrifying? The wall right here, probably. And what other wall is electrified by the second electro cloud? This one right here. Oh. So yeah, I gotta say, Kitchen has become so much more viable in the last couple of months. But I still think that most teams would rather defend aviation rather than the first floor. Might just be me though. Might just be me. Looking at the attackers, you know, initial insertion, you are going to have right here Dirty playing it somewhat aggressively for some reason, right? He doesn't have to peek or to hold this kind of angle. And yeah, he still does. Sarah's, oh gosh, Sarah's almost got caught in a natural cell explosion. Well, he did get caught in the natural cell blast, but he barely survived that, and ultimately that is what matters. Though Dirty is only holding a really small subsection at the top floor, Devil's asking Salam Abdekisa, so Salam Abd Onlyfans. So Onlyfans, they were able to beat MishMash on their map, which was Clubhouse. And now you have MishMash winning their first round on Onlyfans' setup. And right here, you're going to have Dirty getting the first kill on Ceres. That is, you know, interesting. But he still also lost a fair bit of health. Plus, I mean, Onlyfans losing a really strong fragger that is not to be underestimated towards the owner. Ultimately, utility-wise, Ash is, I want to say, limited into what she brings to the table. So it really is, other once again than sheer fragging power, not going to be too much that has been lost here. For some reason, or actually because he moved in the right way. There's another, you know, piece of debris that falls through the cracks. If the defenders didn't know there was somebody right there, now they will. But like Max holding a small angle is unlikely to get a frag here. Gibby might be maybe the only candidate to fund a gunfight, to you know, hold control of the top floor from beneath, might I add. But ultimately, like I said before, Onlyfans are playing verticality, this time from above rather than from below. But yeah, you can maybe get a kill or two this way, but it's not going to get the diffuser planted, and the timer is running down rapidly, if I may. And therefore, just like last time, the reinforced walls, the barbed wire, there are no glue mines, pathetically glue mines, ADS devices, all those pieces of utility, proximity alerts, which we're hearing right now, are still up. And that is the real danger. Dio is getting a nice kill, and he could just, you know, step forward and run into OBJ, but of course, there are the roamers. Tony cutting him off really quickly, and I can't even switch POVs, and Arcanix is already down. Kenny winning this round is also for MishMash Gaming. And yeah, if the previous game was like really, really close, this one is not shaping up to be looking like the previous one at all. I mean, so far, 2 rounds have been won by MishMash Gaming with a fairly substantial advance. I mean, they were never really at odds of losing the rounds, just like last time, right? Timer running down, the attackers probing, but being overly cautious or way too slow at actively committing to any kind of decisive push. And that's just what happens. The outcome is really just a logical conclusion. of the entirety of the round. And therefore, it is going to be a third defense for MishMash Gaming. This time, it's going to be their tertiary bomb sites, which is going to be aviation and games room.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Let's see what to expect from aviation. The composition does evolve ever so slightly, and Dirty is going to be playing arcs. This seems to be like the greatest point or the noteworthy thing to underline here, because Alex really does tend to be a solo player, his operator, right? He does have good mobility, but his gadget, or his Rema Dash, actually is more of an ability than a piece of utility, is, I don't want to say
10
limited,
seconds to insertion.
but it is interesting, it is original and unique and all,
5 seconds
but
to go.
it rarely really brings something unique to the table in the
Attackers are moving
sense
out to
that
locate a bomb and
it only
defuse it.
allows him to get kills, right? Whereas, for example, right here, if I was to take Gibby as an example, denying the attackers the capabilities of opening up the reinforced wall really does limit their their movements, or the movements they can actually have, and therefore it makes them so much more predictable. If you can funnel them into a choke or in the choke point, this is where your chances of winning are becoming really good. Dirty brings none of that to the table, but still he is a really good candidate to get a few 50 kills. Let's see how things play out is all I could say, to be
Attackers
honest
have
with you
located
guys.
a bomb.
So there is going to be a bit of verticality at play here. Of course, Max is taking position at the bottom of the staircase, probably because he wants to protect Dio and Amani playing, verticality right here. There's going to be already hunting vault opened, and that can put off some amount of rotation for the defense. But for the time being, it doesn't seem like MishMash are too intent on holding from hunting vault. For example, Dirty is nowhere near those openings. That could be interesting, but nobody's going to be there. Kenny falling to Amani's fire, and that is, once again going to be utility lost. The mute jammers have been destroyed, and you could realistically expect Arcanix Hibana to open up the reinforced walls in a pretty quick order. Okay, my question, Dirty, will you have the balls to run up or to crawl up through that hatch right there? It would be absolutely insane, absolutely nuts. But if it works, if it works, that's going to be the play of the century. Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but you get the point. Tony in the basement, he is, once again, just working on a rotation on a flank, but he seems to be running away from the action. I'm going to be curious to see what exactly his play is, because he seems to be, he seems to be in it for the long term. For the time being, the grip that the defense has on the bomb sites themselves seems to be weakening. I mean, for example, that wall, which has not been reinforced willfully, right? It was no, simple mistake from the defense. But still, it might be a really easy example for the attackers to just run in. Mechanics also going to get a kill here, so it's going to be taking point, and he is barely missing, but not going to get a kill on Dirty, who himself has a problem in the form of Dio repelling, but that problem gets dispatched, and that's going to be a double kill before he himself gets put down. But it's too late now. Arcanix in a 1v2 situation with 28 seconds on the clock, and all of his health and his position, which seems to be not exactly known, but fairly easy to predict. So what exactly is going to happen? He has to rush in, but the shotgun. Though the shotgun is not forgiven whatsoever. And there you have it. MishMash undefeated as of yet, as far as the second game is concerned. Like, the good news is, they've won on every bomb site there has to be, right? Primary, secondary, tertiary, and the fourth, aka reading, is never selected. You have like some people saying from time to time, oh, it's like a really strong bomb site, but people just don't know how to defend it. I mean, if you want to open up this kind of worms, sure, but if people don't know how to defend it, in practice, it's a weak bomb site. So that's why people are never going to go there, and therefore, I mean, it's just like I said, primary, secondary, tertiary bomb sites. And by having MishMash winning all three of those, it's just going to be another, rotation starting up again. We're going to go back to statue, and should history repeat itself, well, we would have MishMash winning another three rounds, which could, on paper, in theory, leave us with a 6-0 scoreline for the match point situation, for the role swap, and that would be something. That would be interesting, I want to say. Nonetheless, so round number 4. We're going to see right here those walls being reinforced. So MishMash not committing to the same defense like they did at round number 1. Like, remember how they had those rotations and the extended hold? Yeah, it's not going to happen
5
this time
seconds
around.
left before
The
insertion.
walls right here will apparently be reinforced, but only partly because,
Attackers must
of
locate
course,
and defuse the bomb.
Tony, the Jaeger, is alone, and he only has 2 reason of 2 reinforcements in his back pocket. But, of course, you guys knew that. So, exactly how much of the defense is going to change? Well, seemingly quite a lot. No extended hold, still a Marine presence, but the Marine presence is going to be directly beneath bomb site. So, shooting down the pesky drones and providing resistance to, deny kitchen and dining room to the attackers to prevent Buck, for example, from opening up the ceiling. Let's see how effective it's going to be, because right here, Dirty and Kenny, of course, are going to be at a numerical disadvantage. It's just a question of time. Onlyfans, they have like 5 bodies to throw at the problem, and through manpower, firepower, numbers alone, they should be able to overcome and overwhelm the 2 lone defenders over here. Question is, how many of the attackers are those 2 Romans going to take with them to the grave? Amani getting a first kill on Kenny, he has to turn around, and no, that doesn't turn out too great for them, does it now? But here you have Tony, who was unspotted as of yet, getting a kill and getting refragged pretty quickly. That is exactly what I was talking about.
Attackers located the bomb.
The defense has erected this, virtual fortress at the top floor. Reinforcements, barbed wire, ADS devices, goo mines. And the roamers in Dynasties, Kenny, Dirty, and Tony, are willingly stepping outside of this fortress. But that really was not the right call to make. Trading 3 bodies for a single kill is not a worthwhile trade. And for some reason, it looks like Gibby is going to be doubling down, just throwing more bodies, at the first floor in hopes of like protecting the ceiling to deny Buck the chance of putting up the floor. It seems odd to me. And Gibby seems to notice that, because he comes right back up. That flash grenade can be problematic, but he's not going to be rushed at the same time. So right here, X-Ray will be surviving the first and the second one. That Ash infiltration charge also destroyed the drone. Gibby falling to Buck's fire at the same time, leaving us with X-Ray in a 1v4 situation that was not gonna work, and Onlyfans thus winning the first round of this game. Eventually, of course, right? Eventually, MishMash, we're gonna win it, or we're gonna lose, and eventually, Onlyfans, we're gonna stop the bleeding. And that eventual possibility was right here, right now, because the real question was not, are Onlyfans gonna win eventually? Because they will. But rather, when? So the when matters, because if it was to be a 4-1 scoreline, a 5-1 scoreline, instead of a 3-1 like we have right now, that can tip the scales, considering how one-sided the scores are going to be when the time of the wall swap occurs. And after that, how good are Onlyfans at defending this map is another question entirely, right? And that remains to be seen.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
So let's see what we have right here. MishMash, after having lost, could have gone by statues again, but no, they will be sticking to the rotation, and we will be having a kitchen defense. My main question would be, MishMash, are you going to be making the same mistake as you did last time around, aka just sending a lot of players roaming to protect the verticality, and once again, therefore, just having weakly positioned defenders, right, to be outflanked by God damn, I'm having hiccups, by a flurry of attackers just outflanking you from side to side. It doesn't seem to be the case, or it's not shaping up to be this bad compared to last time around. Because, like, for example, Dirty with the shield right here, he was previously just like prone in the staircase and holding the angle, ready to blow up the shield rather than actively, trying to, or looking forward to getting bogged down in a sustained firefight. The vertical play here can be quite interesting. What exactly is above? Oh, it's just, he's staring at debris, so there's no real way of like increasing his visibility. Well, the debris does eventually disappear, but that would take more time than what is like, reasonable to expect. Amani and a few other attackers are going to be, you know, on the top floor here on the balcony, trying to get in, trying to find a few kills, and eventually they're likely to happen. But Kenny is going to get a nice first pick right here. Your other defender holding top floor control would be Dirty. You hear a drone, he's likely to get, you know, identified pretty quickly, and now the attackers Onlyfans know exactly what to expect. Dirty isn't going to peek anytime soon, destroys the canister and runs back down. So far, things are looking good for MishMash. They got a kill and had no damage dealt to them in return. Tony was capable of destroying the air jab, and no attacker was anywhere near enough to hear that shot go off. Therefore, well, it looks like your Tony is free to roam, or as free as can be, right? No air jab is going to be here. Like, that would have been an easy kill on Ceres, for example, if he was to peek, because Ceres was not looking that way whatsoever. But Tony doesn't want to trade his advantage of surprise for such a little advantage, it seems. Because the whole point of being up here is that the attackers don't know you're there. So let's see where, when, how, and why he's exactly going to be revealing himself, and, you know, what exactly he's going to be doing once said grand revelation happens. Because in the meantime, his teammates are dying. Amani, give it to Amani's fire in that instance. And yeah, Tony is going to have to do something eventually. But it looks like he's playing for time, and I gotta say, I cannot fault him for that, because, you know, for just another 20 seconds, and that distraction could be the difference between a round won and a round lost, which is why he is going to be running back. He was no longer in an advantage situation, but like right now, revealing himself without getting a kill might actually be better than flat out killing somebody, because now he's forcing like 2 or even maybe 3 attackers to turn around, or to at the very least be extra cautious when they push forward, which, you know, the mental stress it's going to exert on Onlyfans can be really great. But it looks like there's only the one silhouette remaining at the top floor, which is going to be Amani, and he is not in a position to afford to look behind him. Right here, Dirty getting a nasty bullet to the face. Tony gets the kill, but the diffuser is being planted, and set covering fire around the diffuser is really strong. Ceres is still down, therefore it's still a 2v1 situation. But what can you do at this point? You have, is it Arcanex? It is Max, who is going to be outside, running in to help Ceres out just as Tony rushes outside. Therefore, his position is absolutely going to be known. What can you do at this point? Not too much. As we could see, he was absolutely outflanked. And yeah, if MishMash had a really strong start, maybe they're slipping up a little here. At the same time, you could argue their strats are now known, right? They successfully deployed them against Onlyfans in every single bomb site. So you had to, you know, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Well, it's not happening here. So yeah, this is like a really simple oversimplification that I could present. But for the most part, it seems to be holding true, right? MishMash won once every single bomb site, but they cannot, you know, get the same achievement the second time in a row. No matter what they try once by trophies, they tried once now by the kitchen area, and nothing works. So last round before the world swap, it's now, and basically it is going to be now or never. Of course, MishMash, true to themselves, even though they lost in the true previous rounds, they could have gone statues, they could have gone kitchen, or even aviation, and yes, they do pick aviation. So it's quite interesting to see like these little quirks, I want to say. Because not everybody would do that, and I am, to be honest, unsure as to why exactly this is what MishMash needs to do, because ideally you would go at the strongest of them all, and you would just like patch up and update your strategy or your execution. But nope, MishMash are stubbornly keeping the rotation as if they won for some reason, and if they win this map and the next, I am for goddamn sure going to ask them about that. For the time being, however, things don't seem to be going too great for them. Like I said, they won the first few rounds, but now definitely Onlyfans has the momentum going for them. And yeah, should things hold true, well,
Bomb located by
Onlyfans
attackers.
would be on their fast track to win the match, even if they have an initial, I want to say, lag or an initial slow start to overcome before they can actually have the upper hand.
All set to jam the meridian.
So Dirty here is providing a nice little resistance, but of course it is just a shield, so he can deal some damage, but when you're here, the attackers are just ignoring him, and it just works. As long as Onlyfans don't try to rush up the main stairs, Dirty is unlikely to be a significant threat or a significant damage. The problem. For example, right here, granted Armani cannot, for example, breach the ceiling from the main lobby, main hall, but that's the extent of it. I want to say that flash was ill-timed and really unfortunate. Though, I mean, here you do have Ash in front and Buck coming from the side. Another flash here that could become problematic. Dirty is absolutely blind, doesn't see a damn thing, but he's not getting pushed. And, you know, plus he still had his bearings, even though he didn't see anything. His shield was still up. And here, yeah, annoying Ash a little bit. Not removing any health from her. There you have it. Another little taser is going to be licking her. But ultimately, right, he's not going to get the kills. So what can you do? Play for time seems to be the end goal at this point. But it is still too early to realistically expect the timer to reach 0 and to grant MishMash the wrong one by this way. Sarah is getting killed in X-ray as soon as the hard breaching phase, or as soon as the X-Carriers are done smoking. And now it looks like the attackers do have a small but still existent numerical advantage. How unfortunate. That was a direct impact for a goo mine. Small distraction could have, come at a really, unfortunate timing. That, however, was not the case. Once again, another flash being tossed. Dirty once again, blinded, but once again, not really losing any amount of health. Kenny really is. Oh, that could be huge. That could be huge. He gets a double kill! Oh no, Kenny helped him out. Oh no, swapping the shields though, that is not gonna work. Kenny has to save his teammate, and he does. But he also gets refragged immediately thereafter, and it looks like Gibby was somewhere. Or, wait, what? How did Dirty get that kill cam? Okay, the answer probably lies in the kill feed. But the thing is, you had like a few players, a few attackers, and down by that situation. So you have like the last kill, and then you have another one that adds to that. So I'm not sure. Right here, it is a kill. Kenny getting the second one. It is now a 2v3 situation. Yeah, Arcanix and Amani are the last players alive. Amani gets the kill in Dirty. 2v2 situation.
10 seconds
Then Kenny
remaining.
puts him down, right? And who was remaining? You had Dirty. You had Kenny. Let's look at it another time. And Gibby. Okay, so Mute. Mute will then just have gunned Amadi down from the floor. I can only assume. Let's take a look at the kill feed this time around, because the kill cam itself isn't going to be revealing too much.
10 seconds
Yeah, for
remaining.
example, here, Kenny getting it down, getting refragged immediately. And can we see a kill feed? Apparently not. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, by
15 seconds.
Gibby was the last defender up with a gun, so he has to have gotten that last kill. If not, some voodoo magic's at play here. Some voodoo magic is at play. Okay. Roll swap with a 4-2 situation it is. Things are looking fairly good for MishMash. I gotta say, things are interesting.
5 seconds to go.
For the defense, however, we are going to be seeing
Attacker's objective is to
an
locate
Echo
a
making
bomb
his
and
appearance. And that is always something I do like to mention. Comparing the playstyles from one team compared to another. Because, of course, previously MishMash with the defenders, Onlyfans now do have the defense-heavy role. And therefore, they're doing the same thing as their opponents before them, but, slightly differently. And what are those differences are going to be? What are those differences going to be? Pronunciation is going to be, first and foremost, the defense is playing for time. That
attackers
is
have located a bomb.
obvious. You have an Echo, you have a Smoke, Max with the Grismots. Oh yeah, you're not playing for time. Ooh, nice with those Grismot mines. But, I mean, when you're concussed, you're still unlikely to, you know, bully through and to keep on pushing forward. So yeah, all in all, it is going to be an interesting playstyle to be had because it kind of hinges on being able to stop MishMash getting tracks. Because yeah, DO does have the MP5, but it's a silence MP5, so the damage is lower, right, than for example Rook or Dox's gun. So you'd better be either shooting at the head or accepting and working with the fact that your firepower is going to be so much lower because of the fact that you're getting silenced. Other than that, Max does have a pistol out right now, so I couldn't tell you if he's playing with the shotgun or with the Scorpion. I hope for him he's playing shotgun, Scorpion because you have a lot of long hallways. For example, this one right here, and the shotgun would be really ill-equipped for those kinds of situations. Dio still stubbornly holding the very narrow angle. He can only really get the kill if Gibby decides to repel him, which he does not seem to be intent on doing. Sarah's also roaming. Kenny was in the general vicinity, right? You could really well hear the gun go off, but he's not going to be contesting that. Sarah's could run up pretty quickly, but no, he was actually actively hitting. So yeah, for the time being, Red Staircase is going to be in the attackers' hands, you know, absolutely. And what can you do from then on? I mean, for one thing is for damn sure, the pressure is really... Oh, that run out could be dangerous, and it is going to be paid off. Sarah is getting a nice kill. That's putting it down to a 4v4. But at the same time, they didn't give you getting basically a twinsies double kill. Dio could deny that plant, but he is going to be last alive in the meantime. So he has to get off the drone. Oh, he's unsuccessful in cutting it off before the head goes back down. So yeah, diffuser is going to get planted. He just has to accept it and to work around that. Now, what can you do? The answer is really not much. He gets a first kill, but does not get the second one. Was a nice trade, but yeah, in a 1v4 situation, right? It didn't work out too great. Echo still served his purpose, right, of denying the plant, but it was too early to like have the plant have it win because of the time. So. Yeah, it is what it is. A 5-2 split is so much greater than anything we've seen at map number 1. So yeah, except if Onlyfans are capable of, you know, pulling an insane clutch. It looks like we're gonna have to go in the tiebreaker map, which is gonna be Cafe for those of you who may either have forgotten or not have been there when the map banning thing was underway. So all in all, yes, absolutely insane. MishMash really just turning things upside down from one map to another, and that is really where you have to when you see that stratting is important, and it is really a major factor because every map plays really differently from the previous one, from the other map. That is absolutely true. So right here. Onlyfans are, unlike their counterparts, not going to be rotating from one bomb site to another, whether they want or not. We are going to be sticking with aviation, and we're going to be trying to make this work.
5 seconds to insertion.
Let's see exactly what has changed up. A few things, to be honest. Dio still playing with Echo. Amani on the Wamai plays. Let me just get right here. Sarah's was on Jaeger before. Jaeger is going to be making an appearance, played by Max. Max is therefore going to be leaving Zofia, and Arcanex was on the smoke previously. He's now on mute, so he's really likely to have like the same guns. It's just the kit, right? The utility that is going to be slightly different. Well, completely different, actually. So, yeah. A few key changes on the composition for Onlyfans. MishMash are going to be having minute adjustments also, and when I say minute, Kenny has just swapped his Zofia for Dash, that's all. So yeah, it looks like the formula was working pretty quickly for the blue team. Onlyfans had to reinvent the wheel here. Let's see exactly how they are going to change this up. We, of course, talked about the composition. Let's see now how this translates into the execution, right? Sarah's still roaming, even though he no longer has Jaeger. Let's see exactly how successful he is going to be. There was a drone. Sarah's, you're standing right on the drone. Did you know that? And there's a drone right there on the landing area as well. But, I mean, serious, you look at the plant when you knifed it. I'm not blind, am I? Yeah, there is a drone in the plant. Okay. Maybe I'm focusing way too much on a tiny detail, but he looked directly at it. Come on. Still, that was an awful lot of noise. You know that there's somebody directly above the red stairs. That's going to be Ash, who takes a nasty move to the face from Max, thus negating Saris's actual need to rush up the stairs. Though, you still have Gideon X-Rays, who are, well, within line of sight of the red stairs. But Saris does not seem to be too rushed to run up the stairs. After all, a double kill nitro cell works just as fine. But you still have the pressure that is going to be mounting on OBJ, right? Birdie is going to be one of the only 2 attackers remaining, and they're actively trying. Oh, Sarah's getting killed Birdie, but getting refragged immediately. Is that going to be a double kill? No, it's not. Unfortunately, it is not going to be. And Sarah's had been taken out of the picture, but only temporarily so, right? He was just down but not out. Luckily, he was not finished off. Therefore, it is on paper, technically, going to be a flawless round for Onlyfans, who are, shrinking the gap between the 2 teams, which is something that really, absolutely has to happen. It is of the utmost importance, to be honest. Because, yeah, the disadvantage they had was tragic. It's still substantial, but I mean, that is all that you need ultimately. Because we're not in a maximum situation, but I mean, barely just not. 5 points, you slip up once, and your back's against the wall. In other words, they can only allow themselves 2 more mistakes. And it is in the human nature, right? Humans do make mistakes. You will forget something or have a poor execution on another something eventually. It's just a matter of time. So let's just hope, for Onlyfans' sake, that they are spacing those two mistakes they're allowed out enough to be in a position to win a few rounds before that happens, to bring this into overtime at the very least before MishMash wins their 6th round, right? Or the 7th round. But that is looking at it from the point of view of Onlyfans, because of course, like MishMash, they are well poised to win it out, and I gotta say, it looks like natively MishMash have a really strong playstyle, right? When both teams don't know each other's playstyle, MishMash wins it out. Be it the first time they defend or the first time they attack, right? We've seen the first half what it gave. And we've seen the first time Onlyfans defended, didn't go too well for them, and it's only the 2nd try that they were able to produce a favorable result. And right here, we are once again going to be seeing a new bomb site as far as Onlyfans' defense is concerned, aka, of course, statues. And should history hold true, MishMash could win this round, and Onlyfans wins the next one, right? It's simply going to be a back and forth situation, but considering MishMash's advantage here, it's that back and forth. I mean, they can entirely afford such a situation. Okay, there was, I want to say, Dio right here, of course, right? The T side, T5 essentially makes such a unique noise. Dio was holding on to 9 holder, but not too closely, right? He is there, but he's not going to be statically holding an angle. Looks like Dirty has received a bit amount of damage done to him, and there's going to be like a lot of rotations. The attackers that were holding the right side were holding the left, and Tony, though he was rotating, no. It's going to be a major rotation. Doing a lot of noise to pretend that the attack is still coming from that angle, just to play the disinformation card, and he's gone. So plan B is absolutely going to be the bedroom, and let's see exactly how well that works. Of course, the defense is not really aware of that, right? They didn't make too much noise. Actually, Cyrus jumping down.
Located by attackers.
I mean, Sledge could be. There's nobody. Astro is there. He could just run right into OBJ, though right now Max is there, so that's going to be negating the possibilities. Still, I gotta say, Plan B is working so much better than the steady push they wanted to have at the beginning, right? So let's see exactly how things are gonna shape up. You still have Kenny holding the angle right here, and he's not actively pushing any defender, but he's cutting off the rotations, so the Normers will have a really hard time to get back on site. though Kenny is not going to get the diffuser planted, he could allow it to get planted in the first place, right? Once again, it is not really a glamorous playstyle, but it's absolutely needed. Theo, though, will be negating some of that as he gets a kill on Kenny. But still, X-Ray yet has to set foot on the DJ, so the diffuser cannot be planted just yet. And with 20 seconds remaining on the clock, things can become really close pretty quickly. That was Saris inflicting a lot of damage with a double kill. X-Ray, last player alive, does get one, but it's still a 1v5. He gets two, 10 seconds on the clock now, looking for a third. Oh, he was looking right at him, but he did not pull the trigger, unlike Max. Onlyfans thus winning round number 9, and yeah. MishMash's advantage and MishMash's momentum is fading away slowly, but really goddamn surely, that is for sure. So yeah, let's have those replays up in a bit. And what else really can I add? Well, Onlyfans were able to adapt to MishMash's playstyle. That is, I mean, clear stuff. They did need a many deal of rounds. I was gonna say a few rounds, but more than just, you know, a handful. So they needed at this point 5 rounds to realize exactly how MishMash played. But once that learning phase was, you know, had come to pass, well, the knowledge Onlyfans had gained was, it did hold true, right? They didn't have like to study their enemy team to figure out how they play just to win in one single round. Once they have the knowledge in hand, or at hand, they can use it time and time again. And that is basically what we've seen. Therefore, it is going to be this time a kitchen defense. And now MishMash have to fight extra hard to keep the lead. And you know, I mean, like I said, the wind seems to be blowing in Onlyfans' direction. Therefore, MishMash are going to be basically in an hour situation because we've seen that they have a hard time winning their rounds. Therefore, winning 2 rounds in a row back-to-back, considering they're on offense, doesn't seem too likely. So if they want to win it, they have to win it. To win a round now, lose the next one, you know, assuming the back and forth stays true, and then win in 2 rounds from now to get to 7 points. But yeah, if they lose now, it would be a 5-5, and they'd have to win 2 rounds in a row to put an end to the game without going in overtime. And that doesn't seem too likely. So yeah, MishMash are, in a way, backs against the wall. Let's see exactly how they're going to act to that. I don't know if they realize it, because sometimes the players are really not looking at the big picture, because that can just like be distraction. So no matter the next, let's just see how we can win this one right here, because if we don't win this one right here, I mean, there's no point even in thinking about the next one, right? So let's see exactly how it happens. It is going to be a split push, right? A split push right here. Tony and Kenny are pushing from study. There is, however, somebody by the red stairs. That somebody is, I said the one, and it was a bot. He's made his position known, but as long as he is still standing, it is going to be extra difficult or really dangerous for the attackers, or those 2 attackers in particular, to push up on the bottom side. Theo getting a nice kill dirty, and that distraction was ill-timed. He does get a double kill, and things are definitely falling apart. MishMash number 2v4 situation, and I mean, Onlyfans' defense seems to be really strong now, so it's hard to see exactly how we'll be able to bring this back. Oh, do you have? Oh no, Dio was like running right into the line of fire. Fortunately and/or unfortunately, depending on who you're rooting for. X-Ray wasn't quick enough to pull the trigger. Started saying I suck. Sorry, what did you do? Oh, through the ceiling, he wanted to get a kill or 2. Well, you said it, not me. X-Ray trying to get something, but the timer's running low, and that shield exploding can be dangerous. Gibby does not have diffuser, but he does have all of his health, so he would be like the better candidate to get something planted at this point, I would say. X-Ray. Well, looking for something, not exactly finding anything, and I gotta say, MishMash have to drop down now, because holding the angle from above is nice and all. You could get a kill or 2 by doing this, but you're not gonna get the diffuser planted, and the timer is not waiting for anybody. So it is basically now or never. The camera is up, of course. X-Ray is holding the
15
angle,
seconds to go.
trying to help, but the defenders are not peeking too aggressively.
seconds
Looks
left.
like Amani here is holding something, but like X-Ray, what are you doing? Just
5 seconds to go.
I think they are having kind of a little tactical timeout, playing for time,
Operator,
and like
you have
let's
run
just
out
have
of
like
time.
this last 10 seconds to talk about among ourselves. What exactly are they talking about? I can only guess, but I can tell you one thing, and that is for sure: MishMash have now officially lost the lead they had. Are we going to see an overtime situation? It is, I mean, still quite likely. They only have to gain the 1 point, to gain the 1 victory, to bring this in OT. But yeah, things definitely aren't going too good for them right now.
15 seconds to go.
And at this point, Onlyfans, they have won 3 rounds in a row, which is as much as MishMash at their heights and the beginning of the game. They won 3 rounds before losing a single one. And yeah, so officially, if the Onlyfans are capable of winning 4 rounds back to back, that Cookie Points trophy would come to them rather than to Onlyfans.
15 seconds to go.
A small detail, but one to be had nonetheless, because if you have a back and forth, it's one thing, but if the team is like extremely consistent, that's, you know, something also that can have a major impact on the game, right? Of course, after having won 3 rounds in a row, you have to get back to your primary bomb set, which is going to be aviation. And now would be a good time to settle the scores for MishMash, because of course they won here once on attack,
10 seconds
they
remaining.
lost there once on attack as well. Onlyfans were able to manage to get a victory
5 seconds
out
left
of that
before
bottom
it's
side. So best of 3 as far as that room is concerned
Attackers must locate
is
and
now.
defuse the bomb.
Let's see who really is the king of the aviation game zone, OBJ. And yeah, MishMash, of course, at the beginning, they were running rounds due to the advantage of surprise. I want to say we didn't exactly know how the defense was and the attack had to figure things out as they went. And the same did hold true for MishMash, you could say. And therefore, now that MishMash do know how things
Bomb
work,
located by
you
attackers.
could realistically expect them to win the round. At the very least, to have a better chance winning the round, simply because they shouldn't be taken by surprise. Let's see. Kenny, of course, pushing in behind the drone. The drone from Gippy, I wanted to say, from X-Ray. X-Ray feeding a lot of intel, so all of this classical hall seems to be safe, but there is going to be the one and only Amani right here. So of course, repelling through the window would be a suicide mission, so let's not do that. But he is not too well positioned to, for example, prevent X-Ray from breaching the reinforced wall with the X-Caros. So let's wait and see how exactly things are going to play out, because the OBJ itself seems to be like suspiciously, I want to say, calm and deserted. You do have Max here in the main staircase, but then you also have somebody else that's going to be Sarah's roaming, and of course that is going to be the actual. Oh no, he was way too early on that front, because that was the insurance policy, right? The natural stuff from below. Unfortunately, Sarah's kind of did blow this, and Arcanix, had he been a bandit, would have been able to deny that opening. Fortunately for him, that was too little too late. Though, I mean, to be honest, he could still plant down another mute jammer. Actually, did he put one down? Oh, it got destroyed, I want to say. Because it would be quite hard for Hibana to destroy it from the angle with the opening she's created. And therefore, you know, running through the opening to get the opening would still be possible to do. But it looks like this is not going to be the attacker's plan in the first place, as X-Ray is planted right here. Dio has a drone right there, so he can see something. Sarah is not going to do the kill, actually. Kelly taking him out. It was a refrag after all, but still, Dio, you are too little too late. The drone was looking right at X-Ray and kind of missing it out, so that is unfortunate. Though, here you have it. MishMash are now at odds of winning the round. You have Kenny holding the angle, and a tight angle at that. Dio and Arcanix, last players alive. 2v3 situation, not too big of a disadvantage, and right here, right, a single kill does bring it back to an equilibrium state, but that kill will get refragged itself. Therefore, MishMash are stubbornly keeping the upper hand. Arcanix now, in a 1v2 situation, has to try to deny that, and oh gosh, if he sticks it through, that could even work, but it's going to be extremely close! X-Ray almost potatoing there. But hey, there you have it. MishMash. At the very least, guaranteeing an overtime situation. This is what you want to see. If you're a MishMash fan, that is, right? When I say something like this, you like the turn of the phrase always has to take a stance or to, you know, take a position, though I myself have to remain neutral. After all, I cannot, you know, take stance. So I have to remain neutral as the organizer. So let's just look at it this way. MishMash were able to deny Onlyfans, you know, the cookie point victory or the cookie points trophy of winning 4 rounds in a row. So on that front, it is now technically still possible to win another 3 rounds in a row for Onlyfans. But other than that, like overcoming MishMash's greatest achievement is now winning Onlyfans. So on that front, it looks like both teams are going to be tied. Nonetheless, MishMash Gaming are going to be in a match point situation. And that is something that is going to be refreshing for them, as after all, they lost the first round, but by a slim margin, right? Onlyfans were tied for match point, or they were, you know, in a match point situation. Then they lost a few rounds, thus getting to overtime, and from that point they were able to win it out. So the orange team last map were in a match point situation, you know, twice basically. Right here is going to be up to the blue team to be, you know, to have the victory within their grasp. They just have to, so to speak, stretch their hands
Attackers must locate
and to
defuse the
grab
bomb.
it. And for example, right here, I did talk about the fact that Tony is being considered as a really strong shield player, but some other teams are not going to consider him good enough to warrant a target ban against him, because he is showing exactly why some people will tend to say that. The fact of the matter is, if you ban Montaigne, he's just going to be running Blitz. It is still a different playstyle, similar at its core, but ultimately different, right? Overall, he is still going to be an absolute pest in your face, and right here, he is going to be so much more dangerous because he can play so much more aggro. You have 2 pair of feet right here, so should somebody, for example, crawl right in front of the opening, that could be something, but that don't seem too likely to happen. Kenny losing the connection, that is really unfortunate, right? It was basically now or never for MishMash to put an end to the game, and with a numerical advantage, it is going to be a bit harder to get. Still entirely possible, but harder. You do have Dirty. I was going to talk about the firefight, but we kind of missed it. Dio dying, and therefore the 4v4 situation is, the equilibrium is back on track. Once again, unfortunate, but hey, it happens. Let's just hope he can expect in, because pre-hosting at that point of the game would be a pain. Sarah is taking some amount of damage, not inflicting any in return. So far, MishMash are doing like really good. Gibby, of course, from underneath, basically limiting the amount of rotations or angles the defense can actually hold. But I want to say, both these defenders right here, Max and Amani, are on a soft floor, and Gibby could actually, you know, make a number on that area of the map, but he's not going to do so. Therefore, right here you have Dirty biting the dust, now leaving us with a 3v4 situation. Both Amani and Max are in the same general vicinity, so Ceres is the only one like holding trophy, looking at statues, and Arcanix holding an angle and statues from the other side. But he's going to have to turn around, because there's Gibby right here, who takes a nasty bullet in the face. So things aren't looking too good at this point for the attackers. Tony is going to have to try to get a firefight, but gosh, is it not going to be easy? He does get a kill on Ceres, though. Now a 2v3 situation. Oh no! X-Ray putting your teammate down! And with the castle shield right there, or the castle barricade, 10 seconds to go. That is going to be a close rush, but they're going to have to attempt it. Somebody on the right side, aiming downside. He is trying to go for the kill. He fails in doing so, and it looks like Arcanix gets a double kill. Onlyfans thus bringing this to overtime. And yes, a rehost is of course going to happen. Why am I not surprised? Okay. Hey, gosh, I want to have a space here. Leave. Leave, and we are going to be rehosting that. Yes. So let's go for the replays, and then we could like process the rehost while the replays are showing. Oh yeah, so Onlyfans officially bringing this to 266. And the good news at this point is that the rehost is going to be like extra easy, since I simply have to give like 3 points to the one team, 6 points to the one team, 6 points to the other, and it really doesn't matter what has been won where, right? At this point, no longer does. Okay. So, yeah, the replays are gonna be. Let's just go right here. Oh gosh, I'm lit when I'm sitting down. Okay. Villa was the map. The band operators were. And by the way, what was Pulse banned out of all the operators? Pulse has been banned. Thatch has been banned. Montaigne, of course, and Mira. Okay, let's invite the players in the meantime. So we're gonna have Sarah's, and we're gonna have, I'm caps locking, Kenny. Our map was Villa. Our team's names were Onlyfans on the one hand, and MishMash Gaming on the other. Okay. It was the orange team starting on an attack, and wait. Rounds history, as far as this is concerned: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orange wins. Therefore, OT. Okay, okay, yeah. This is what I want to see. Okay, so this is what they're talking about. Let's put this in full screen. So this, of course, is the stream with a 3 minutes delay, and Onlyfans, like it's at random, right? Who starts defending first? Onlyfans, we're going to defend. So let's just give the first defense here, or the first team to attack on overtime to blue team. Therefore, Onlyfans will defend. Oh, and I typed them in the wrong side. My bad, guys. Okay. I see. Okay. Yeah. So, blue team is MishMash Gaming. God damn it! Why didn't it save when it closed down? Come on. MishMash Gaming and Onlyfans. Okay, yeah, so whenever you're ready, looks like you're ready. Restarting in overtime, and the beginning, or the first team to attack in overtime was set at random. MishMash, you kind of left pretty quickly, but like I was still there, Onlyfans were still there. By random, they got the first defense. So you'll be starting blue team on attack.
Sounds good.
Good luck, guys. Good luck, have fun, and may the best team win. And we're back in there because I was so poorly lit. I couldn't wait to get back in there. It is going to come down to the wire, though. MishMash Gaming have a really small margin for error, because if they lose 2 rounds here, they are done. After all, they lost the first map. This is only the second map. If they win, though, we are kicking this into overtime, or we're kicking this into the into the tiebreaker map, which would be Cafe if it has to go there. Which I gotta say would be nice in the sense that it would keep the game really, really close, and you couldn't know or you couldn't tell in advance who was gonna win. But other than that, I mean, this match also is really close, and so was the previous one. So if MishMash were to lose, if this was to be the end of the best of 3, I really couldn't complain either way, right? Round number 13 is going to be dining room and kitchen.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
And yes, let's go
Wall secured.
kitchen again.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Let's see exactly what this defense is going to hold. Because of course, at this point, Onlyfans, they have tipped their hand just like MishMash before them after having defended in every single bomb site once or twice. So at this point, MishMash should know realistically what to expect, and they should know, hopefully, how to counteract that, or generally speaking, what to do. By the way, Corbin6, hi, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream, my man. Welcome in the community. Right here, we're as always going to be having some drumming, capabilities. Onlyfans actually, decent amount of resources at the top floor. Reinforcements, mute jammers, deployable shields, ADS devices, Vulcan shields actually is even better than deployable shields, to be honest. Oh, in some sense. Ultimately, the interesting thing is always when you're dumping a lot of resources to hold on to a single angle, be it the front entrance, back entrance, top floor, bottom floor, it kind of leaves the opening to have this movement or the setup be circumvented. Right? For example, right here, Kenny and the other MishMash guys are really not pushing the top floor. Therefore, if you never push that top floor, you're not really going to be exposed to all of those preparations and all of the security that's been poured above. Imani will be killing off Kenny, but oh gosh, has he ever lost a lot of health. If he was to find himself in another firefight, odds are he would die. But oh, Tony was not aware of that. Surprisingly so, because she just got her first kill here. How is it that you don't know if somebody's going to be there? So yeah, things are falling apart. An expression that I hear often said in French that I haven't exactly heard in English before, but it sounds pretty good, is the house of cards is falling down, or is crumbling. The attackers had something planned, but like you're losing a player left and right without, for example, having your shield player. Now you can no longer have like him covering you, and you can no longer have this or that, and it limits your choices and opportunities, to put it that way. Plus, the further the numerical disadvantage increases, the more and more opportunities Onlyfans will have to just outflank you by using their numerical advantage, right? By sheer numbers. If there's somebody in front of you that bogs you down in a sustained and prolonged firefight, somebody else can just take that time to flank you. But right here, diffuser is going to get planted. That was an attempt, and that is absolutely attracting. That's kicking the bee's nest, right? The beehive. They are all rushing forward, and right here, oh gosh, were Onlyfans ever ready for this? Imani and Saris with a kill in rapid succession. Both are gonna, get a strong frag, and now Onlyfans are gonna be in a match point situation. It is ultimately maybe a little bit unfortunate to see, the victory once again slipping out of MishMash's grasp, because they did have the upper hand for most of this game, but they were successful in basically holding on to some advantage. So there you have it. Onlyfans now at odds of winning the best of 3. MishMash must be feeling the tension, must be feeling the pressure now, and let's see if this is just going to serve as an extra motivator or as an extra incentive to outdo themselves, to win the map and keep on playing. Because if not, should they lose, this would be the end of the road. You have at most 2 more rounds to play, and it can go either way.
As many bombs as they can.
So, in the meantime, or till we go there, we are going to be seeing an aviation defense. right? Or am I just typing with the caster's notebook too much? I am casting in the I am typing with the caster's notebook too much. It is going to be statues, actually. Okay. Statues defense. What exactly are we going to have here? The interesting thing is, Kenny right here is playing with castle, because of course blocking off a few doorways to hold off the attackers is something, but on a window that's an entirely different thing, because of course, I mean, breaking it with your by the melee is always possible, but usually the point is, for example, to cut off the angle to allow for like those rotations. Easy example, right? So that is going to be item number 1, I want to say. Item number 2 is going to be the attackers. How are Onlyfans going to react to that? We are going to have Max, who was receiving a bit of fire, looks like. But no, actually, like the gun that was going off was Sarah's gun. And the verticality was absolutely beautiful. Can you hear? Getting our first kill. But this is exactly what I was talking about, right? Castle barricades are, you know, an ephemeral. Is that how you pronounce it? They are a temporary, I'm going to say barricade at best. They get destroyed pretty quickly. It's harder than a typical barricade, but it's still no difficult task. Plus, when you have a window, well then you can knock each other in the feet. So this is like extra protection for you to make sure. Gibby was right here. Looks like Sophia knew it because Saras was able to remove somewhat of HP from him by using the impact grenade. Let's see exactly what happens from there, because if Saras was to vault through that window, it would be taking a great risk. He would have, you know, for example, on his left, Dirty. On the right, there's going to be Gibby. Slightly in front of him, that would be Kenny. So really dangerous. That insertion would be really dangerous. So Dirty right here is going to be disoriented, but no, he is still up. There's going to be another one jumping through, but no, Saras has been put down immediately. That Hail Mary did not work out too great. Do you want to throw another body at the problem, Arcanix? If you vault through, you saw what happened to your teammates. I would not condone. Plus, I mean, you can see the laser pointer to the right here. Why would you do this when you see? Well, you saw what happened to your teammates. Like 2 of them died. Now 3 of them died there needlessly. Like the first one rushes in. Okay, I mean, you learned the lesson, but at this point you should know, right? So, Onlyfans maybe being a little bit too zealous. Dio in a 1v5 situation, it can still be like a flawless run for the defense, or it could be an ace for him. No, it's going to be a flawless round. All in all, it's not too surprising, but there you have it. So what else is there? There's going to be an overtime match point round. The bad news, though, for MishMash Gaming is that they had a notoriously hard time winning the rounds on attack, right? So far, they only won 2 out of the entire game. And like the main problem simply is that MishMash never have to attack, and this is a 7-7 situation. So if they lose here, they lose the map, and they lose the best of 3. Plus, I mean, looking at the historical data, out of all of their attacks, they have won out of 7 at this point. They've only won 2. So it's 2 out of 7, you know, chances of winning. It is not too great. It is not too good of a you know, statistical chance to have, especially when there's this much in the balance. Still, MishMash will have to attempt it. Looks like Onlyfans will be holding statues. And let's take a look at this. Sarah's and Max will be defending, or will be reinforcing and protecting this reinforced wall. Oh, that electric claw placement is nifty, and you know that's a nice thing. By having these area of effect gadgets, you can really like be creative with the electric claw placements, and some can be really difficult to spot out. I mean, there's still IQ for this, but I kind of like to see the kind of creativity that the electric claws allow or will enable to the game compared to, I mean, the really simplistic way of placing down a jammer or a bandit battery. Other than that, there's still going to be some kind of extended hold by having a Dio right here hold on to the main stairs. But let's take a look at the attackers, because like I said, Onlyfans have a really strong chance of winning the defenses. So you could argue that by default they win them. It's really up to MishMash to mix things up and they have to actually like win the rounds. Gibby and the attackers are going to be taking a foothold in the on the first floor. Let's see what they want to do from there on. Tony also is not going to be linking up with the rest of his team, because we've seen, for example, what Onlyfans did just now, right? Previous round, having body after body after body thrown at the same angle in the same choke point is not a good idea to have. So you can either put your firepower in common, which Onlyfans tried before, or you can maybe try to outflank your opponents, divide your strengths. Kenny here has done that. He was able to open up a small section of the ceiling of the floor here. Lonnie has been forced into the staircase, but if he wants to rush down, if he wants to play somewhat aggressively, he could maybe even get a kill on Kenny and or Dirty. Kenny is watching the angle, so he would be hard to surprise. But if you're able to get the first kill, and if you can get the momentum going, when you have somebody looking at the ceiling like this, if Dirty was to be pushed, from right in front of him, if an attacker was to, if a defender rather, was to, present itself in the doorway right next to him, he wouldn't see it because he's looking up. But for the time being, it looks like MishMash are somewhat capable of eroding the defensive setup, right? For example, right here, X-Ray is opening up the reinforced wall. Dirty is able to breach a good amount of the floor. Tony right here also destroying the castle barricade. And Amani did make some noise, but that seems to have been a distraction. I mean, he is unironically looking at the hatch, but he was very well aware of the danger that was lurking behind him, and he reacted accordingly. That was a nice play. All in all, Gibby is still there to pick up the slack and try to get the refrag. Let's see if Amani's going to be aware of that. If he wasn't, now he is. Unlucky for Gibby, the advantage of suppress has not been traded in for a kill, but hitting him once across the shoulder, unfortunately, is not going to be enough. Kenny is rotating. Apparently, if you cannot gun him down from in front, in a face-to-face firefight, maybe flanking him with the Astro Stairs could be something. Unfortunately, he was back in the bomb site. He was going to go kill, but Imani he didn't get the frag. Refrag right here happening pretty quickly. Is it diffuser being planted? It does not seem to be the case. X-Ray has to go in. No, he is stuck. He cannot plant. Onlyfans winning this and winning the best of 3. X-Ray saying, "What the fuck?" when the glitch clutched the game. Sorry for that. Oh, goddamn. Sarah saying, "I saw that." Yeah. It is unfortunate, to say the least, to lose the game, or to lose the best of 3 with that kind of situation. I have a good news though for MishMash Gaming, and it is that we're playing in double elimination. Therefore, losing right here puts you in the loser's bracket. Yes, it is a disadvantage, but you can still, on paper, hypothetically, get to first place. It's going to be harder, but it's still possible. So let's go for the replays. And I'm also going to enter in the scores here. MishMash fans. This other game was closer than the first one, in the sense that it was closer, but it was still. Though, I mean, winning 2-0 might seem like a blowout game at first glance, but ultimately,
Operators, you have run out of time.
Both games went to overtime. It was close. It was close. That's all I can say. Okay, let's try to get an interview going, maybe. So I am going to just jump into the voice channel. Here, I'm gonna ask. Hey, I'm in the wrong channel right here. I'm gonna ask Sarah to have an interview. Okay, yeah, let's ask them if they want to jump in. Let's see what they're gonna say. But yeah, I totally get where MishMash are coming from when they say that this is a frustrating way to lose the game. That is for damn sure. And the camera is not well aligned because that is actually the center. Let's just refocus it real quick. That looks good. And Sarah's, or Dio actually.
No, c'est moi. In English. It's
Oh. Hi, Amani.
Hey.
How are you guys doing? Yeah, so Dio said not really too much in English.
Hey.
I'm speaking for right fine. I'm fine.
no. I said that I'm gonna talk.
Are you gonna speak?
I'm good.
Speaking.
Okay.
Anyway,
all
our
good.
team is now.
All right. Well,
our
then
camera on English.
let's
The
go.
whole
Let's
team's
go with
different.
this. First of all, congratulations for your victory.
Thank you.
It was like best of 3, won in a 2-0 fashion. Might seem like a blowout game, but when you look at the individual matches, MishMash really did make.
What do you
work
mean?
for
It
those
was so
victories.
easy. Like, easiest game of our life.
Yeah, that sounds sarcastic. I don't know why. But yeah, like, so a really, really strong victory for you guys. And to be honest, like, the matches were quite interesting, but I didn't get like surprised or any, like, it didn't seem to me like you reinvented the wheel, right? You were going with the standard strats, but just trying to apply them in the most efficient way possible. Is that possible, or did you like do something new that I haven't seen before? And yeah.
It's not like Villain or Clubhouse have joined the map pool like 2 seasons ago. It's a bit hard to. It's a bit hard to create something totally different. Like, of course we have our difference, but like it's not maybe gonna show to the general public. Like,
Okay, so real quick, if I was just to say something, what round was it? Sarah's when you were playing Valkyrie and roaming when you were defending aviation. So I would say round number 8. Like on the first floor in a hallway, you destroyed a plant and you hopped on the plant vase to drone, and you were standing right in a drone, and like you had knifed the bush to get it destroyed, so you had looked directly at the drone and you didn't see it. Like Accent Assist had put a message in chat at 10:05, so that was roughly 40 minutes ago, saying "Bro, ça résout les yeux." So I wanted to point that out.
C'est accent.
That's excellent.
dude, I blame that on the 60 Earths. I don't care.
So you're playing on 60 hertz.
Yeah, 60 Earths for the win.
So if we win, we're gonna all give our cash prize to Cyrus so he can buy a fucking 144 tabarnak.
I gotta say, to be honest, I know the struggle because, and that is a bit of a random thing, but like, you know, I'm using capture cards, and the old Elgato HD60 only had 60 FPS pass through. So even if I have a 144 hertz monitor, for the longest time I couldn't play at 144 when like recording and streaming.
Well, that's sad.
So I had to wait till Elgato came out with the like 4K 60, and I had to pony up because that has like a bigger bandwidth. So 1080, it does offer 1080 like 120 hertz, which is still at 144, but it's still a lot better than what we had before. So yeah, anecdotes aside, I want to say, like, the thing I realized between what you were doing and what MishMash were doing, and that really struck me on Clubhouse, was whenever on defense you lose a map or you lose a round, you will keep the same strat, but like just tweak the tiniest amount, right? Whatever didn't work, just only that tiny detail is gonna get changed. Whereas MishMash would just go for a totally different strat. Like they had like 2 strats on every bomb site, it seems. I wanted just to point that out. And why is it that you will like go for a really similar strategy? Because it's been known. I mean, you've shown your hand. You know where you're going to reinforce, or where you're going to be like roaming, Valkyrie cameras, all that good stuff. So let's just talk about like this choice of yours to keep a really, I want to say, consistent playstyle. It worked out, so I'm not criticizing, but I'm just asking. You know.
That's fair.
Hey, yo, Hans, can I talk to you for a sec?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, well, like a lot of times that they won the rounds, it didn't really feel like it was anything like, you know, crazy. Like we knew that maybe we were out of positions and like we got caught off guard by Monty's position. But when we realized, for example, on Clubhouse that they were going to probably hard stick the Monty, all we had to do was bring a Clash in. We could still stick the Legion we've been playing, maybe put a smoke if we need to, but changing reinforcement wouldn't like do anything to alter it. So
Yeah.
And after all, it worked, right?
And I disagree because
yeah, go ahead.
we played them on our defense, like on all of our defense. We played 3 times basement or maybe 4. No, we played it 3 times. And out of the
4.
So you were defending on the first half, right?
Yeah.
So you played church once, 2, 3. You played it 3 times in the first half, and then you went in church also in overtime. So yeah, 4 times.
Yeah,
But
4
we tried something different on the second try. On the second time, we were doing an assist Jerome in the first one.
Yeah, you did
time?
this as chief strat. Yeah.
And I feel like with the ban, it was just better to stick to side, but like it didn't work at all. We just got destroyed, and we went back to the SSG. So like we tried major change, and it did work. And at the end of the day, they were almost always doing the same push no matter what.
Yeah.
So like they were not that kind of team that do one push and the next round they go with a totally other different push, and you just can't adapt to that. Like they were doing the same thing, so we were just tweaking our strat to adapt.
That's fair.
to it.
Just to play devil's advocate, though, you were also pushing the same way every single time.
Yeah,
right?
we were.
I mean, it seems to be a staple of the first map of Clubhouse to have the same push every single time. Well, after all, if it's the best way of doing things,
I mean, maybe we need to work on that. Maybe that's something we need to change. Like have 2 different push for some sides.
well, I mean, if you want to try it, maybe you like strat. I don't know, blue pushes, then hatch pushes, then this and that.
I mean, you mainly have only armory push on basement, and like you open the dirt tunnel and the kitchen hatch, or you could also push church, like trying to take the blue and breach church wall. That's mainly the 2 push, but we haven't really practiced church push. I don't think it's really meta right now.
That's gonna be up to you to decide. I'm not. I'm not here to like coach you guys or anything. You know, I have to remain neutral, not all that good stuff. So the last thing I wanted to point out, and once again, just having a conversation going, because nothing was overly too flashy to have a single action or a single event be really noteworthy, except maybe when you didn't see the drone or the way you guys won the match, because yes, I will say you won due to a glitch. I mean, glitches.
No.
we talked about it, and at the end of the day we disagree because like Sledge was injured, right?
No, he was dead. Arcane killed him.
Okay. So Sledge was dead. I would have killed Ibana. I'm pretty confident I would have killed Ibana going through the breach.
So that leaves us in
that leaves us with like a 2v2 or 2v1. I'm not sure, with like 10 seconds left. We have trophy control and we have a get up red. I don't think the round was over for us. I think it would have been like 50-50.
It would have been 50-50.
And they didn't try to. I mean, I'm not blaming them for that, but like they tried to stick through that hole for the entire 10 seconds left. Like I saw that Ibana struggled for 10 seconds, never tried to go to the door. I mean, it's not their fault. It's a glitch after all. But...
She tried to plant in it. I see them in the stream.
Okay.
Let me just pull it up right here real quick. If I open up the stream, because here, that's the magic of restream. I'm also streaming on to YouTube directly. This way I don't have to like upload the video afterwards. And the nice thing is with a YouTube stream, you can scroll back. So if I was to come right here, overtime, 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Wait, what? Oh no, that is 20 seconds on the preparation phase. Yeah, I was like 5v5 with 20 seconds to go. That doesn't add up.
I mean, I kind of killed myself when I realized like they were not gonna win. I just had to stay alive. I played very poorly after that, but before that, I think we had the round.
Yeah, give me a sec. So you were playing with Kate. Yeah, you were in the Astro Stairs, weren't you?
No, I was.
It was top rod.
I was bench watching the.
Oh yeah, you were.
I was watching the breach, like where Ibana went with diffuser.
Yeah, right. So if we go at it like slowly, with 0.5 speed. So then you have Sledge that rushes into trophy, gets a kill on Jaeger, gets refragged immediately. Refragged by, so Sledge was Gibby, refragged by Arcanex. So both you, okay, so it was a 2v2 situation. Kenny was down, Hibana, Zofia was down, but she couldn't like withstand. So it would have been brought back up to a 3v2 situation. Arcanex and Ceres are the 2 last remaining alive, classical, so top of blue stairs. So yeah, you have
with 2 trash guns.
Yeah,
but
TCSG and UMP.
No, Ibana was gonna die no matter the gun.
I gotta say, MishMash had, and I mean, even if the diffuser was planted, then round one's over, right? You still would have fought to regain control. But right here, so you have Dirty, who was pushing your door, so he was kind of running at you, or he was holding, he was holding a forward position, not hanging back. Kenny, of course, withstanding. and X-Ray trying to get into bomb site. Yeah, so right here you can see, for example, that Gridlock was able to get you down. So it would have been a 3-1 situation at this point.
Yeah, but what was I doing when she injured me? I wasn't like holding anything, right? I was just.
I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing he was doing, he tried to run because he knew. He couldn't.
I saw the banana glitch in the wall.
Exactly, so he knew the run was over at this time. So
yeah,
he was
just
like,
ran away. I ran away.
Yeah, exactly. So he just ran.
Had the glitch not been there, you would have played differently.
Maybe I would have died still. Maybe we would have lost, but I don't think it was like over for us. I don't think they had the round win without the glitch.
Ultimately, as unfortunate as it is, glitches don't take a side. Glitches are, I mean, just a factor. I mean, it's as if in a sports field there was like wind that would blow the one direction. The wind isn't taken aside. It's just a factor that we have to work with. And in that instance, it only so happened to be favoring you. But I totally do get MishMash's, I want to say, irritation at losing in such a way. Because this, okay, yeah, the round may not have been over, but they were looking fairly good, right? They had a partial bomb site control. They just didn't manage to get the OBJ, the diffuser in there. So yeah, all in all, the last little point I want to talk about when comparing our two teams' playstyles would be the fact that if you remember the first half, MishMash, they would win like statues and they'd go into the secondary, then tertiary bomb sites. But then, you started winning your rounds, right? And at this point, when they lost, they still went to the next bomb site in the list rather than sticking to the quote-unquote better bomb site. Whereas you, for example, you lost on aviation, then you tried to defend aviation again. So what is like the interest behind going into the next bomb set down the list, even if you lost, compared to sticking it out and trying to, win on the chosen bomb site that you just failed to defend right here? So like, I'm letting you respond to that.
You wanna go on?
Sure. I think it's just the same thing we said earlier, man. Like a lot of the times when they attacked, it really wasn't always like on them outplaying us. It was either based on mistakes that we made, and we just realized that. And then, like sometimes the play was just to stick to the bomb site, or sometimes the play was, yeah, let's do aviation again. The reason why they won is because we actually went where they were getting plant down, and we had echo. That's on us. Let's do it again. We know we can win this. Or they got 90 wall open. Let's switch the smoke to a mute.
Yep. I did notice that when you swapped.
Yeah, so like it was just like our problem-solving skills was just it wasn't every time it felt like, oh my, if we switch this round we can get this. Some of those rounds just felt like this is on us, and
I see.
we can do better.
So that kind of implies that you are inherently better than them. Would you stand behind that assumption?
I think everyone here can agree to that.
Right.
I hope we are.
Both claims are being made, but after all, you won 2-1. They brought this into overtime, but you still won it. So, I mean, actions speak for themselves. All right, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up here. This was a nice conversation to have, but ultimately it wasn't too much of a classical interview. So, congratulations on your victory. You are now basically in the upper bracket final, right?
Yeah.
So basically,
there's a loser bracket.
Yeah, it's double elimination.
Yeah, but it's not for us, Dio.
So you're in the in the upper final.
We don't do loser bracket here.
Exactly.
So I mean, looking at this way, you are. I mean, here, you are guaranteed at worst third place, right? At worst, if you were to, So at this point, you are guaranteed some amount of the cash prize money.
C'est le 1/6 d'un 144. Let's go.
So yeah, it remains to be seen how much you get, but you are guaranteed to get some piece of the pie. So congratulations on that front. Let's see how things are going to play out. But hey, I look forward to see you again next week, because of course, I mean, you don't have a second game this week because we have to wait for the outcome of the other game to see who you're playing up against. But yeah, keep on stratting, keep on practicing. Let's hope your opponent does the same, because that will mean that we have an extra juicy and extra interesting match to witness next week. But until then, guys, congratulations for your victory. Have an amazing rest of the night, and see you again next week.
All right, thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See you.
All right, so that was a hell of a game. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did. So yes, until then, have an amazing rest of the night. Just like I said to the players, take it easy and see you again next week. There is a caveat though before I just cut off the stream abruptly. There is another game scheduled. So of course the other upper bracket game between Hostile Actions and Vendetta Esports has to be played this week, of course. It will be played this Saturday, okay? So this Saturday, let me check because they had scheduled it at 8. So just like this game right here. However, I, on a personal level, will have like a family get-together thing. So I have an external obligation that prevents me from casting the game. I give you my word. I'm doing everything I can to find like another caster, a substitute caster, to have the game also covered, because it would be like absolutely unfortunate to have a game not casted in the playoffs. But I can tell you one thing, except if the hypothetical eventual substitute caster is like really generous, it is unlikely that the game is going to be on this channel. I will keep you guys posted. Keep an eye on the Discord. Keep an eye on the Twitter. But yes, the next match is going to be this Sunday if you guys are interested in this. But like I said, it's unlikely to be right here. We will keep you guys informed. But until then, like I said to the players, have an amazing rest of the night. Take it easy and see you again next week. And here's the button to turn this off. Bye-bye.
Defenders have located the diffuser.
Enemy interference.
Attackers activating the defenders.
Changing mags. Reloading mag.
Attackers drop the bomb. Operators have run out of. A bomb has been located. Drop the diffuser. Attackers. Has been dropped. Seconds remaining. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers activated the diffuser. Defenders have located. Attackers have located a bomb.
Les défenseurs ont neutralisé le désamorceur.
Nitro set.
dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers dropped the diffuser.